Everybody, welcome back once again to Hot Toys Hotline Live, episode 60. We're finally at 60. I was just watching that number go up and up. And I'm like, can't wait to hit 60, Love hitting that number. But how's it going, everybody? I see a lot of people in chat already. As you can see, we've got a great panel, and believe it or not, there's even more coming in. We might have a pretty huge panel tonight. We did bring David back. I had a lot of good feedback. Everybody was saying David's really cool. Get him back on. And I really loved having David on. So I was like, David, you want to come on, man? He's like, absolutely. So thank you so much, David, for coming back on. And then a familiar face. I know he's been around on some other streams, and I know you guys see him in the chat all the time. He's a big supporter of mine and a good friend. We got Mike L. We're not going to say his last name, though. He's not going to get me while he's live on stream. He's not going to get me. But we got Mike on, guys. Mike, thank you so much for coming on, dude. It's great to have you on finally. Sorry it took me so long to fit you in, but absolutely, dude. It's great to have you on. It's an honor to have you on. But I know it took me a while to fit you in, but the summer schedules being all over the place for everybody, I'm like, cool. Now's my chance to start bringing people in and kind of integrating guys in on the stream. So it's great to have you on, bro. I've enjoyed watching you on other streams, and of course, we chat all the time. We kind of enable each other because you're like, I bought this. I'm like, I bought that. So yeah, and it was cool chatting with everybody today with the Joker stuff. We're going to talk about the Joker. And everybody on the panel is going to talk about their experience getting the Joker. And I know a lot of people in chat probably have some things to say about it. It was great to see that a lot of people in the Facebook group chat were able to pick up the Artisan Joker. So congrats everybody for that. Everybody was roasting me because I somehow was the first one to get it. So everybody was giving me crap. But I was getting a lot of crap for that. And also finally, guys, thank you so much to Chris, the Collecting Madness, for being here and rushing to get on time to hang out with us. So I very much appreciate that, dude, because he's had some very long work days this summer. So it's so great to have you here. And I don't know if he's in the chat yet, Chris. Do we want to wait till we see him pop up? And you know who I'm talking about. We want to wait till we see him.
We got to do it right.
We'll wait for him because I know he's going to show up eventually. If not, we'll do it towards the end of the stream. But Chris, thank you so much for being here. And like I said, guys, more people will join us later on. So just stay tuned. I don't know if Ryan's going to make it out tonight. I'm hoping that he is because we're going to talk about the Star Race Ghostbusters situation, and who better to have here to absolutely roast him in the ground than Ryan. So hopefully Ryan's going to be here. He said no mercy, so if he could make it, we'll definitely have fun talking about that with Ryan. But let's say what's up to some people in the chat, and then we're going to get into it. We do have a lot to talk about tonight, guys. I know it seems like a light week sometimes when Hot Toys doesn't announce a bunch of stuff, but I feel like a lot of companies came through this week, Chris, with the UPS truck. A lot of companies came through this week. So there's actually a decent amount of stuff and some really cool, obscure stuff to talk about. So, but let's say what's up to all the people in the chat. Of course, as always, I think Insane One made this comment at like 3 p.m. EST. He's unbeatable. It's very rare that someone beats Insane One with the comment. So one of our great moderators here, Insane One, thank you so much for being here, my friend. Very much appreciate it. Another one of our great moderators, Ty, is here. Ty says, hello. How's it hanging? Warming up with some Lost Boys soundtrack before the show. Yes, guys, we're going to talk about that Lost Boys David. I know me and David have been talking about that one. I'm really excited about that one. I know a lot of people weren't excited about the price, but of course, we're going to get into it. But yeah, great song, some great music to warm up to the stream too, especially because we're going to talk about that David tonight. We have Payden23 here. What's up, Payden? Another one of our great moderators. The whole crew's in here tonight. Thank you so much. Payden says, hello, fellow collectors. Hello to you, Payden. Thank you so much for being here. Boba Fettuccini is here, as always, one of my favorite usernames. Thank you so much, dude, for being here. He says, what's up, folks? Happy almost weekend. Yes, that's the best part about doing a stream on Thursday. You have the weekend to look forward to after the stream is over. So thank you so much, as always, for being here, my friend. CSI Grism is here. CSI says, hey, it's Warm Toys Warm Line. Not hot yet. Yeah, I mean, we have some somewhat hot stuff to talk about tonight. Like I said, not too many crazy things going on with Hot Toys this week, but at least we have some announcements to talk about. So, of course, we're going to talk about those. And then there's Chris saying, I'm on time in all caps. Yes, you are on time, Chris. Thank you so much for making it on time. We appreciate it. Summers fam is here. Summers says, yo, what's up, dude? Is that Art the Clown I see in your profile picture? Funny enough, I actually, not long ago, probably 3-4 months ago, met the actor that plays Art the Clown. So that was really cool. So dope to see in your profile picture and so awesome to have you here as always. Mary Sullivan is here. Mary says, yo, what's up, Mary? Thank you so much for being here. It's great to see you. Doc Collector is here dropping the popcorn as always. What's up, man? I hope you're doing well. Jordan Skinner is here. Jordan, I'm so glad that she hung out today during the DX Artisan drop. She was really worried, like a lot of people, that she wasn't going to get it. I'm like, just hang in there. And I'm so glad to hear that you were able to pick that up, Jordan. So congrats on that. And once again, congrats to everybody that was able to pick it up, because I know it was very nerve-wracking for a lot of people. Let's see. Yeah, see, Ty knows. Ty says, Big Dog Pound 1, where are you? Let's see. Omniballs is here. What's up, Omniballs? I hope you're doing well. Thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you coming through. Let's see. Got to get that Anakin tomorrow from 1/6 Star Wars Pimpazoid. That's another one of the best usernames I've seen on YouTube. Thank you so much for being here, bro. And best of luck to you and everyone else for the Anakin. Guys, I will give you some information on the Anakin for those of you who aren't aware when the figure is dropping on Sideshow. We will talk about that when we talk about the Joker drop today. So don't you worry. Fat Batman is here. What's up, bro? I've been talking to Fat Batman a lot lately. Really cool dude. Thank you so much for dropping in, bro. Great to have you here as always. Very much appreciate you dropping in here. Let's see. Smoke him if you got him, as always. You got to drop the smoke emoji. What's up, man? Always great to have you here. He also says, when will be the first, when we get our first rooted clone? Well, dude, I don't see that in the near future. You know, most clones, you know, because they're in the military, they have that buzz cut. So I don't see that happening, but you never know. We'll never say never with any of these companies, you know, because they're really pulling some stuff out of their butt. So you never know. Violet is here. What's up, Violet? By the way, guys, speaking of Violet, we have a giveaway active on the channel. Not that many people have entered, so really good odds right now to win a quarter scale NECA Raphael from the 1990. Was it 1999? I'm not big on Ninja Turtles, but I think it's 1990. 1990. Okay. It's a quarter scale NECA Raphael. Really, really cool figure. So even if you're not a huge Ninja Turtle fan, you might as well enter. Give yourself a chance to win. It's not very difficult. You just got to make a comment. Make sure you subscribe. So, but Violet did once again donate that prize, her and Ash Chase. So thank you so much, guys. And please enter that giveaway. It's a fun giveaway. Let's see. Eclectic Collector is here. Eclectic says, hello, everyone. Hello to you, Eclectic. Thank you so much for being here. I very much appreciate it. Good to see you as always. Nathan Henderson. What's up, Nathan Henderson? Nathan says, nothing like hopping on Sideshow at 12 Eastern time to be 3,568th in the queue, then getting notification. Excuse me, I can't talk. The notification from Sideshow at 12:09. Yeah, the notifications, guys, those are very unreliable. Even if you have text notifications show up, those were late for me as well. And before we even get started, Sean, the Hot Toys Nightmare here. What's up, Sean? I'm so glad you made it out, dude.
What's up?
Right on time. We didn't even get started yet, Sean. It's so great to have everybody here right in the beginning. And Lane, out of all people, Lane's always the first one here. Lane's the late one now. Come on now. It's like a parallel universe. What's going on, Lane? Let's see. Who else we got here? Sorry, guys. I'm still scrolling through. Collector Joey is here. What's up, Collector Joey? I hope you're doing well, man. Let's see. Who else we got? Jared Hughes. Jared Hughes says, glad to catch a live. Looking forward to the discussions. Well, thank you so much for making it out and taking the time out of your day to listen to us talk about toys. We very much appreciate it. And I hope you enjoy the show. Thank you so much. I was wondering why Chris pulled out the belt and started spinning it, but now I know why. Big Dog Pound 1 is here saying what's up to everybody. What's up, Big Dog Pound? Of course, we got to give Chris the floor, as we always do, to give Big Dog Pound his grand entrance.
All right, so if you're in here, we're just getting started. It's warm right now, but it's about to get hot, if you feel me. So what I need you to do, chat out there, is hit that like button, because I am the wedding ring wearing, the UPS delivering, truck driving, Hot Toys wheeling and dealing son of a gun, and Hot Toys got me spinning out here just like this spinner belt. Woo!
He's really going to be spinning out tomorrow. If that Anakin drop doesn't work out. So we'll see. Yeah. Well, hopefully, Chris,
you won't hear from me.
Yeah, we won't hear from him. We'll just see the belt somewhere laying in the middle of the road. But yeah, thank you so much, Chris. And then we have, before guys, we get started, we have one more Mad Planet here. We have two more. What's up, Mad Planet? Hello to you. I hope you're doing well. Thank you so much for dropping in. And then I cannot forget about my boy Sluggin16. What's up, Connor and Hotline panel and fellow collectors? What's up, my friend? I hope you're doing well. Thank you so much for being here. And I'm excited to hear your thoughts on a lot of this stuff tonight. But guys, we're going to get right into it. Again, a lot of stuff to talk about tonight. Of course, as always, we're going to start with Hot Toys announcements over this past week. And of course, guys, you guys know this is one that me personally, and trust me, before we get super into it, I know everybody, a lot of people are like, I'm sick of Mando. I don't need any more Mando. And I get it. But for me, if Hot Toys totally passed on everything from the season 3 of The Mandalorian, but one, this would have been the one that I personally wanted. I just thought this was a really cool kind of a wrench in the story, you know, something different, a bit more of a power struggle presented to us. And obviously there's a lot of mystery behind this Moff Gideon, right? Because we know Moff Gideon was cloning himself So me personally, I'm like, I don't think this is our Moff Gideon. I think this is a clone of Moff Gideon. I think he's still alive. So a lot of mystery behind this version of Moff Gideon, but I think we can all agree he looked totally badass. And not only that, guys, I think this sculpt is pretty incredible. And I know a lot of people, especially if you're fans of Breaking Bad, a lot of people want to take this for a Gus figure and kind of throw that on there because it's such a good head sculpt. And I think it would kind of work, because it's very similar to how he looked in Breaking Bad. So for those of you that are picking this up, it's kind of a win-win. Let's say you have a third-party Gus in your collection, but the sculpt isn't quite there. Throw the helmet on the Hot Toys version of this figure and then take the sculpt and throw it on there. And it's kind of a win-win, So I could see a lot of people picking this up for those two reasons. But me personally, I had to pick this one up again. This is one that I personally wanted out of all of the Mando stuff. A lot of those, we saw those kind of one-off Skittles, Mandos. You guys know I was excited about that way back when. And then as time progressed and we missed out on a lot of stuff from like Andor and Return of the Jedi, I kind of was like, oh, I don't need those anymore. So that stuff doesn't excite me, but this does. I think this is really cool. I did already drop my pre-order. I grabbed it through Off the Racks. But I think this is awesome. And not only that, guys, we do have these kind of Generation 1 Praetorian guards behind them to kind of give us some background pieces to go with this figure. So I'm hoping that these see the light of day. You guys know the original Praetorian guards from the sequel trilogy actually fetch a pretty penny, considering they're a very basic figure that didn't really have a lot of screen time, the character itself. So definitely would be a really cool background character, in my opinion. I would love to see this come to fruition. However, for me, again, personally, this was the main thing that I wanted from Mando Season 3. So if this is all we get, I'm perfectly happy with it. Because, again, there's other stuff, in my opinion, that should take the stage more than Mando Season 3. And I look at my Mando Season 1 and 2 shelf, and I'm like, it's just so full of stuff. I don't think I really need that much more. We got the IG-12. We got the Moff Gideon. I'd be cool if they just left it where it was, But that's just my personal opinion. I think it looks great. I think it's a great head sculpt, and definitely was one that I had to pick up. But I'm going to jump to Sean. I know Sean, I'm curious to hear your thoughts on this. And also, I'm curious to hear your thoughts on the Praetorian guards in the back. Because I know you kind of mentioned recently, I'm going to kind of change the way I collect a little bit. And I think a lot of people are. A lot of people are like cutting back on the army building because there's so much stuff coming out and the prices are so high. So what are your thoughts on this Moff Gideon? Are you going to be picking this one up, Sean? And also, do these Generation 1 Praetorian guards interest you at all?
Yeah, so I will definitely get Moff Gideon. He's already pre-ordered. Regarding the Praetorian guards, I would get 3. And just to fill that out. So focusing on my collection is, I'm still focusing in on Star Wars, so that's not going anywhere. But, other things are being filtered out for me, so I'm being very specific. Army building those probably is not going to go away for me. So specifically with clones, I'll keep doing that.
It's good to know because you're, Sean, you're our resident army builder. You can't let us down.
Well, even if I drop down to 6 on everything,
just only 6, no big deal.
Still be like the resident army builder.
That's true. That is true. Certainly not me. You're the only one that has the space for it, dude. I don't have the space or the money. Let's be real.
You can go buy another house.
Baby steps, Sean, and maybe another display. Baby steps.
Okay.
But yeah, Sean, what do you think of the head sculpt too? I know a lot of people.
Sean.
Yeah, wise words from Sean.
If you wanna step up your display, go buy another house.
Yeah.
Anyway. Sean, what are your thoughts on this sculpt, dude? I know a lot of people.
I think it's awesome. I was concerned that they were going to go after use the old one.
Yeah.
Sorry, I didn't mean to talk over you.
No, it's okay. I was just saying it's always good to see the positivity, right? A lot of times with these head sculpts, it's very divided. Whether it's really good or not, everybody, beauty's in the eye of the beholder. So that's why I'm curious to hear everybody's thoughts on this head sculpt because, again, I personally think it looks really good. So
it does look really good. I felt like they made him look younger in the show, and it kind of portrays that in the head sculpt too. I was concerned that they were going to go off of the older, the original Moff Gideon version that we have. But this looks really good. It does look like they de-aged it too, so they're not using the same sculpt. I'm glad that we can move the eyes. I like the hair pattern that they put in with it too, how it's sculpted in. Clean shaven look too is good on that. Everything seems proportioned right on the head sculpt itself. Now the uniform looks amazing as well.
Yeah, let me get you actually, I almost forgot. I actually have while you're you can continue talking, Sean. I actually have a video. Shout out to MRC as always, guys, for the great content, early content. But of course, he had to take a video for us of Moff Gideon. So I do have a video, Sean, of the Moff Gideon at Secret Base. Let's see.
So I think the staff is cool, but I was kind of caught me off guard though. I didn't think of him as the type of like a staff wielder in the show, but it's still good. With how it shines and dulls and everything else in the area, I was kind of hoping that they would make the chest piece at least light up. But
yeah,
I'm happy with how it is. So
yeah, I mean, overall, I agree. I think it looks very good. And guys, I didn't mention the price point on this one, $285. So it seems like that's about standard now for most head sculpt figures. Obviously, every once in a while, it slips through the cracks and we get a $265. But it seems for the most part, $285 is kind of the standard. And that's not just for Hot Toys. It seems like a lot of companies, for the most part, officially licensed at least, are adopting that $285 price point. So $285 for this one. But yeah, Sean, great thoughts on this one. I want to move on to David if you don't have anything additional to say, because I'm curious to hear David's thoughts on this one. David, are you blown away by this head sculpt? What are your thoughts on this figure, man? And I know you have a bigger collection. I don't think I've ever talked to you about your Mando stuff, but is this something that's going to make it in your collection?
So I can't unsee Julius Caesar right here. Like if you had like a little reef around his head, that'd be kind of cool.
Yeah.
I'm going to go ahead and pass on this. Although I do appreciate the aesthetics and the color scheme. It looks pretty cool. As far as Mando goes, I do have the quarter scale, but I kind of scaled back. I picked up some of the sand people and whatnot. But as far as this goes, this is going to be a hard pass for me. I'm just not interested. His character, I didn't really resonate with his character too much in the show. So to each their own,
That's fair. I mean, no sense in spending all that money, especially if you're not into the character, So, but now, thanks to you, dude, I can't unsee the Julius Caesar haircut, But I mean, it's kind of obvious right in front of me. But since you brought it to my attention, Peyton says 10 out of 10 in my opinion. It's definitely up there. I don't know if I would give it a 10, but it's definitely I would say a 9 for me personally. But definitely a great head sculpt. But that's very fair, David. But Mike. Moving on to you, dude. What are your thoughts on the Moff Gideon? Is this one you're going to end up picking up again? I don't know too much about your collecting when it comes to the Mando stuff. Are you into the Mando stuff at all?
Yeah, I am. I kind of cut myself off at I have the Blurg, Mando on the Blurg, Quill, and IG-11, and that kind of encapsulated everything that was most important to me from season 1 and even season 2. They made a Cara Dune, I'd be all of that in an instant, of course, but I'm happy with what my Mando collection is. I'm happy to stop there. I agree with David, but I also agree with Sean, because in isolation, this is a fantastic looking figure. A 9+ head sculpt, in my opinion. I love that 40+ years of Star Wars, and this still carries with it the aesthetic of Star Wars. And it's, all new designs, Praetorian Guard and his armor. But my problem is that on my shelf, it would be a reminder of everything that bothered me about season 3, rather than a celebration of season 3 for me. I didn't feel like he earned it. I didn't feel like he earned that episode, the armor, the mechanization of the armor, the sounds it made. It was just a lot of weird choices for me. Also, he's got it's clearly Mandalorian in design and concept. He's even got the symbol in the front of his chest. And yet he crushes the Darksaber. That's your opportunity to rule Mandalore and be the leader of the Mandalorians. You would treat that like a newborn baby, even if your life was in jeopardy. You would never crush that. So it was just a lot of weird choices for season 3, and for that reason, I'm going to pass on this figure. But the quality of the figure looks awesome.
That's fair. And, it's funny, too. I originally expected when he had the Darksaber in his hand, I expected the same thing. Because, we saw it happen with Darth Maul in the Clone Wars. He challenged Pre Vizsla. He won the fight. And then, that's where the Maul DeLoreans were born. So it's definitely a good point. It was definitely a very surprise decision for me for the Darksaber crush as well. I was like, I didn't expect that. But I get that. I mean, if and it's good that you put it that way. You know, if you weren't happy about the content, why would you want a reminder of it in your display? And I think, you know, I personally liked the Kenobi show, but you know, a lot of people didn't, and I think a lot of people spoke with their wallets for most of those figures, apart from the Vader, because you know the Vader had that Hayden Christensen likeness with the half mask. That's a little different. But for most of those figures, like the Inquisitors, they just sat, and obviously they went to waitlist very quickly. There probably weren't many of those made, so definitely a good point you make there. You know, it doesn't surprise me that a lot of people are passing on this one. So that's why I was very curious to hear what the panel had to say about it. But fair point, dude. Fair point.
Hey, can I add to Mike there on that?
Sure, absolutely.
So this is my interpretation of that part, and I understand about the dark saber. By my interpretation of it was that Moff Gideon viewed, if he can't rule Mandalore, nobody else will.
See that?
That's where my thought process was with that.
Yeah.
It's
Okay.
I don't know, but yeah, there's like two sides to
Yeah,
it, but I
because
do understand.
wasn't
what
he
Mike's
kind of
saying.
building his own army? I mean, that's kind of the whole.
Yeah, but I
his
do
whole
understand what
clone
Mike's saying
thing or
because
whatever.
the Mandalorians are so loyal to that symbol of the Darksaber that whoever holds it, if they want it fair and square in a battle, like they have to follow them. Like, do you think they wanted to abandon Pre-Vizsla's rule and follow Maul? I don't think so. I just think, hey, Maul was the better man. So I could see really the both sides of it, but yeah. But segueing into that, Chris, since we got you talking, let's hear your thoughts on the Moff Gideon, man. I'm curious to hear if you're picking this one up.
At first I wasn't a huge fan at the sculpt and still wasn't, like on that beginning image that you had shown, but after looking and going through, because I haven't really dove like head first into it because it wasn't like super on my radar. But after seeing this video, I think it looks pretty good. If somebody missed out on the first Gideon, it's not one that I'll be putting into my collection. I think the Mandalorian himself is kind of the main attraction for me, and Grogu. So that's kind of all I'll need. But I will say I kind of agree with Mike a little bit as far as season 3. Like it kind of took a weird turn for me too, and I kind of feel like that's expected, especially with how Disney's kind of been doing things lately. But all good things gotta kind of come down anyway. Like they go up just like a roller coaster. So maybe they'll bounce back after and whatever else they're doing with the movies and Ahsoka. I'm pretty hyped for that one. But
Yeah.
To wrap it back up with this figure, I think Hot Toys does good things, you know, especially lately with their sculpt and the sculpted hair and stuff. So, and the tailoring's on point. So whoever's getting this, you're gonna have a good looking figure. I just feel like if it was on my shelf, I would kind of be thinking of season 3, like a lot of people here said.
Yeah. I mean, that's fair. That's totally fair. And I totally understand that point for sure. But well said, Chris. I want to read a couple comments, and we're going to move on to our next figure. Mad Planet says, looks good, but I can't connect due to season 3. Kind of going along with what Mike and Chris are saying. Gideon deserved better in terms of characterization. Again, guys, my theory and a lot of people's theory is that that's not actually our Moff Gideon. If that does come to fruition and that is the case, then, you know, maybe some of this stuff will make a bit more sense because, you know, that's not our Gideon. He's not thinking like our Gideon. He did something that our Gideon wouldn't have done. And that make this whole thing make a little bit more sense. But yeah, I totally get that point. Let's see. 16 Star Wars Pimpazoid says, definitely getting this Moff Gideon. Yeah, like I said, it was one that I certainly wanted to pick up. This is the main one that I wanted. I love the look of it. It just reminded me of the Maul DeLoreans from the Clone Wars. So it kind of appealed to me because of that personally. And Boba Fettuccini says, if and when they come out with the Praetorian Guards, I will be in for all 3, no question. Yeah, for me, I don't know if I could get all 3 of them because I have to, you know, it's a space thing for me because I buy so many figures. But who knows? The time they come out, I may change my mind. But guys, we're going to move on. And this is going to be kind of an open discussion. There's really not too much to say about this. But this one kind of probably doesn't surprise a lot of us, does it, guys? We got another Iron Man.
It's gold.
But it's gold, right? It's like our Midas. We got the Midas 6 scale version. And now we have a golden quarter scale Mark III here. And I know, David, I know you're a quarter scale collector. So I'm interested to hear your thoughts on this one. Now, I will say, guys, and I think he's in the chat, Jeremy Casa from Plastic Hero Collectibles, my boy, always helping me out, get all the hard stuff to find. And really anything I need, he's there to help me out. But him and I were talking about this because he was trying to get his hands on this figure. And he was telling me how difficult it really was to get this because this is limited to 300, guys. This is a very limited figure.
I didn't even know it was quarter scale. till
This is
just now.
quarter scale, yeah. So, but it's very limited. It's only limited to 300. But I feel like most people probably aren't like, damn, I really wanted that one. You know, it's another quarter scale. A lot of people like myself don't collect quarter scale, and it's another Iron Man. Now, I will say what I do really like, and Chris, we were kind of talking about this the other day. We do have serialization on this little box here. So we were talking about this the other day, and Chris and I were kind of talking about like how difficult it really is and how much extra work it is for them to go through the whole serialization process and make sure that's all sorted out and done properly. But this is really cool. You know, it's not something that would ever be for me. I don't look at this and say I have to have it, but I do think it's cool. And I love that it's a celebration of the film. And I do like that plastic case. I'm not going to lie. If they did that for like the D100 Iron Man or something, I think that would have been a little bit cooler, you know, give it a little special plastic case to display it in. But this is neat. But I'm curious if any of you guys on the panel or anybody in the chat, is this something that you guys are interested in picking up? Me personally, this isn't on my radar whatsoever, and I would not be willing to pay the price that this is going to go for. Because again, after talking to Jeremy, I know it's going to be a lot. So
I only have kind of one thing to say about, like, it looks cool. I like the color, but if I was getting into quarter scale, because like you, I don't collect quarter scale, and I wanted an Iron Man, I don't think the gold version would be it for me, regardless of its exclusive factor.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, for me, you know, the only quarter scale that would really get me, and sorry to cut you off, David, only quarter scale that would really get me is maybe a Mark 7. But go ahead, David. I want to hear your thoughts on this one, David, because I know you're a quarter scale guy.
Yeah, I mean, I do collect quarter scale. I think I've got like 9 of them. I mean, this is beautiful, man. I love the color palette, the separation. It's stunning. I didn't even know it was available to lock in. I don't think it is over here. Correct me if I'm wrong. If I had an opportunity to, go ahead.
I was going to say, I don't think we're going to get it here. I think it's exclusive to the one of, I think the Shanghai store. So I don't think we're going to get this one.
Yeah. So, I mean, I just think it's beautiful, to each their own, you know. Quarter scale Hot Toys have kind of replaced my future statue collecting due to weights and exuberant amounts of cost. But this, to me, I would love to display this. I just don't think I'm going to have the opportunity to snag it, which is unfortunate. I mean, who knows? Maybe it does come to Sideshow at some point. If it did, I would be all over it.
Yeah. Yeah, well, like I said, I mean, if you really want it, it's probably going to be expensive. But I think Jeremy said he may be able to get one. So I mean, if you decide that you have the bug for it, maybe hit Jeremy. Yeah. TK is saying they should have done it for the Artisan series, TBH, talking about the numbering. And yeah, I mean, again, Chris and I were having this conversation the other day about the whole numbering thing and kind of how the Artisan line could become more artisan. And I want to bring that up more when we talk about the Joker and the Anakin drop tomorrow. But I have some thoughts on it that I want to share with you all. But go ahead, David.
Yeah, can you put me, I mean, talk to me, Goose. Who's this? Who's Jeremy? And I'd love to maybe touch
Jeremy Casa from Plastic Hero Collectibles. There actually is a link in the description of this
He's on
stream.
Facebook.
He's on Facebook as well, but I get a lot of my stuff through him. He's helped out a lot of people in the chat, I know for sure. So if you're really interested in, I think you may be able to get one. It's going to be expensive, but it's going to be very hard to get. I truly think if I had to put my marbles into one basket, I don't think Sideshow's going to get this. I think this will be kind of like that Mark V exclusive that came with the diorama, that car base. Obviously, that never saw the light of day either. So, we do have a super chat, though, from Sluggin16. Sluggin16, thank you so much for the $2 super chat. Very generous of you. Sluggin16 says, hit that thumbs up. Let's go. Well, I think it's only right that we give you an awesome super chat message. Because he was here on time, we gotta give you the good stuff. So actually, you know what? We're gonna do something different. Maybe this will bring Ryan out, because I know Ryan. I know he was hit and miss on making it tonight. Maybe this will bring him out to talk about the Ghostbusters stuff later. So we're going to give you the Ryan super chat message here, the space juice, if you will.
Oh, man. Hey, everyone. Mr. Mom Collectibles. I'm just taking a second out from busting some ghosts. I want to thank you for your donation to Connor and to the Hot Toys Hotline channel. And just remember, if you got a ghost problem, who are you going to call?
Love it. Thank you so much.
Classic.
Classic, dude. I still got to do more, guys. I know Manny's not in here right now, but if he pops in, I'm sure he'll remind me. But thank you so much, Sluggin. I very much appreciate it.
Hey, dude,
Carlito is here.
Tell us if that stuff was warm or cold.
I don't think we asked, Sean. I'm not sure, dude. I don't know if I want to know. I don't know if I want to know the space juice.
I think we should
It gets me every time though when he says that.
Call him and ask him.
I'm not calling him live.
Okay.
But Carlito says, "Evening, everyone. I'm late to the party." Dude, you're right on time. And also, guys, shout out to Carlito. I did get it in. He hooked me up with the diecast license plates, the Mike Lane Mods license plates for the Hot Toys DeLorean. So I very much appreciate that, dude. Once again, I can't thank you enough. Very kind of you to do that. Peyton says, "Who are you gonna call?" Did he bust the ghost? Or I'm not going to read the rest of that. Did the ghost bust on him? We can't.
That's what I'm saying, though.
We can't roast Ryan while he's not here, dude. We cannot roast Ryan while he's not here. But
people making inappropriate sexual jokes just always rubs me.
Yeah, how dare them? It's like how absurd, right, Mike? You would never do that. You would absolutely never do that.
Yeah,
well,
he couldn't.
He could never. But I think that's all we have to say, guys, about the quarter
he could
scale.
never long time.
That's true. That is true. I think that's all we have to say about the quarter scale Mark III, though, guys. We're going to move on to the fun topic, the topic of all the salt today. We're going to talk about the Sideshow Joker drop. Now, guys, I think the big topic of discussion, apart from how the drop went, is pricing. Now, I know a lot of people, including all of us on the panel, have had various discussions about pricing with InArt and their products. And we're kind of seeing something very similar here with Hot Toys. We're seeing $515 for the rooted hair figure. Now, I will say, guys, the markup through Sideshow was pretty significant. I don't remember off the top of my head what it was in Hong Kong and overseas, but it was pretty significant. $515 is a lot. And then when you put... Mike, you're just going to come in. You're just going to come in nonchalantly, dude. Like,
what do you do?
Yeah. What do you got?
What's the problem?
Yeah, why?
Am I just seeing things, man? I'm clicking the wrong things. Am I just seeing things, man? Was his hair like this the whole time? I'm just clicking all over.
What are you clicking on?
I'm just clicking all over the place at this point because I'm just so blown away. Mike, my first question is, why do you have that? That is my first question. Why do you have that? What is the origin of this?
I just took off my hat.
Oh, okay. I mean, you do a pretty good job tucking it in the hat, dude.
It takes a while. Dude. It was getting hot, yeah.
So you're a big rooted hair guy then. You big rooted hair guy.
Love rooted hair.
Rooted Mike from Sideshow for $550. I mean, dude, that'd be a slamming deal for 1-to-1 scale. That'd be a slamming deal, dude. Oh, Mike, you're killing me, dude. Killing me. Well, Mike, I mean, we have to ask you then, like, how this drop go for you today, and what are your thoughts on the pricing on both of them, really? Because I feel like for me personally, I think both of them are a little bit higher than I was kind of hoping for.
Yeah, they're both higher than I expected them to be, but I still got them both. So I'm very, very happy to have gotten it, dude. I was 2,407 or something. And I was like, well, that's it. I might as well just call it a day. But I think they're random. Even though they say there's that many people ahead of you, obviously they must still shuffle the queue inside of that.
Like actively shuffling the queue?
I guess, because I don't think I was the 2,400th. I mean, unless they got all 4,000.
Where people are like leaving once they see the price, or just in to check it out. I know a bunch of people did that.
So, Mike, since you brought it up, I wanted to pose this question to kind of everybody in the chat and the panel, because, every time with these drops, fairness always comes up in the conversation. You got a lot of people running to Let Your Geek Sideshow's Facebook page complaining about how poorly the drop went. Mike, since you're talking about the queue system and how it went, do you think it was fair? Do you think this is a fair way to do it compared to what we've seen in the past? Like, we had a free-for-all for the Endgame Cap 2.0. And then we had a lottery system for the D100 Iron Man. So out of all the things you've seen, Mike, with the green hair, do you think this was a fair way to do it? Do you think Sideshow should do it this way moving forward?
Yeah, here's why I think it's fair. Fair doesn't mean that everyone who wants one gets one, because we know going into it, it's limited. When I say fairness, all I mean is that I did my job. I'm on your website. I expect you to have the system that can handle the traffic you're going to get. And they did. I thought it was very smooth. Now, I know that obviously some people got stopped, but just from my limited, I guess, inquiry and amongst my friends, anyone that was there before, it dropped. So on the East Coast, 12, everybody I know that logged in beforehand got one. The only one I know that didn't get one, he logged in at 12:04. So, it seems like a lot of people are happy today, which is awesome. So I think it was fair. I think Sideshow handled it really well. The one thing I'll say they dropped the ball on, I think you mentioned this earlier, is you can't rely on those texts or those emails. I mean, they had the field down there was like, you want an email when it's when you're placing line? Absolutely not, dude.
Right, you're like, no, I don't want your emails. Don't waste my time.
Walking away from my computer and letting you email me. So, but I think it was really fair. I'm happy that I got one, and
I just can't stop laughing at your hair, bro. Every time I look, I'm trying to look away so I don't laugh over you talk.
That's rude to laugh at somebody's hair, bro.
Yeah, really. Dude, we can't all be naturally blessed. Okay?
Right? How insensitive of me.
The one thing I will say is, some people may have seen my comments, which are, I'm not yet sold on rooted hair. But that's because the only rooted hair I know is what, the hair used to look like. I have never seen an in-art in person. And obviously I've never seen this piece in person. I still think the in-art rooted looks better, but we're not really necessarily comparing anything right now. Yeah. I love the sculpted look. But I had to jump on this just out of curiosity. Like, I want to see what this thing looks like, Yeah. So, but yeah, the sculpted is definitely staying with me no matter what. And I expect this one too. It's a little too thick, but I still think Hot Toys, obviously they have plenty of time in production to maybe tweak the hair a little bit. So anyway.
Yeah, for sure. And real quick, guys, before we address some of the stuff that Mike was saying, because I think he brought up some great points. I did bring up a poll. Thank you, Chris, for reminding me. I'm curious to hear your guys' thoughts. So, of course, make your comments in the chat as well, and we will go through some of the comments. But do you think this is fair, guys? Vote in the poll. Let us know if you think this is a fair way to do it, or if it was not a fair way to do it, because I know everybody has differing opinions. But very well said, Mike. Again, my personal thought is, and I'm not going to try to take credit for it. I was just joking in the Hot Toys chat earlier, but I was preaching a queue system for a long time. After that Endgame Cap 2.0 debacle, no one had a fair chance to get it. It was kind of a free-for-all. I was talking about the queue system. I'm like, Shop Disney, Disney's official website. They do a queue system. They always had. It works great. And it's crazy because this queue system that Sideshow is doing is almost identical to how Shop Disney does it. It loads the same way. It tells you the items are sold out while you're in the queue, which I think is very helpful. It doesn't waste people's time. I saw some screenshots where it said the DX Artisan is now sold out, but the sculpted is still available. That's great. And me personally, 1000%, this is the best way to go about it. That's just my personal opinion. The free for all with the Endgame Cap 2.0, total BS, total luck of the draw. I've said this before, guys. When it's not your fault that you missed out, that's where it's a problem. When you go in and you don't have a fair shot at something, that's where it gets really frustrating. You get really upset. You get angry on Facebook. That's where that happens. But when everybody is given the time, you all hop in at the same time and it's randomized, I think you can't really get any fairer than that. And like Mike said, I seem to have seen most, if not all of my friends were able to get the DX Artisan Joker. And a lot of them were sitting in the queue, guys, for 10 minutes, almost 10 minutes. So I told them this earlier. I'm like, don't give up. Don't just say, oh, you got yours, but I didn't get mine yet. I'm giving up. You have to sit and let it run its course. Don't give up. If it doesn't say it's sold out, like I said, it'll show you while you're in the queue. If it doesn't say it's sold out, assume that it's still there and fight for it, because, a lot of times that pays off. So it's really good to see that a lot of people were able to get this one. I know some people definitely missed out because these are a limited amount. And it seems like, based on the math, guys, it seems like maybe Sideshow got about 2,000 to 2,500 based on the math we were doing in the Facebook group. I don't know for sure. That's just kind of our dumb math that we're doing based on the numbers that we were given from other areas. So if that's the case, it doesn't surprise me that it took a little over 15 minutes to fully sell out. So it seems like Sideshow got a lot of these, a lot based on the rest compared to the rest of the world. But let's see. I do want to address some comments though, and then we'll hear some thoughts from some other people on the panel, because they're kind of piling up here. Carlito says, why the salt? I think the pre-order process went really well, or as well as it could, IMO. And Carlito, I know you were one of the people that were sitting in the queue for a while, And a lot of people in that chat, it was great to watch the whole process. You know, everybody was getting worried, everybody's sweating it. That's what I was saying. Just hold out and wait and see what happens. Don't give up before you give yourself a fair chance. And you were able to get it. So congrats on that. And again, I totally agree with you. Mark Palmer is here. Mark says, hey, Hot Toys Hotline fan. What's up, Mark? I hope you're doing well. Thank you so much for dropping in tonight. Eric is here. Eric says, what's up, everyone? What's up, Eric? I hope you're doing well, bro. Let's see. I know Control Alt Delete dropped in. What's up, Control Alt Delete? Thank you so much for being here. Clone Trooper says, I think a lot of people like me just joined the queue to see how it worked. Yeah, I saw a lot of people saying that yesterday was kind of their test run for Anakin tomorrow. So, but I will say, guys, you know, I firmly believe that Anakin is going to be more difficult. I think there's going to be more people going for it. And obviously with this one, we had the benefit of having 2 SKUs. You know, a lot of people, believe it or not, prefer sculpted hair. It's going to be more difficult, but don't give up before you give yourself a chance. That's all I got to say about it.
Yeah. And 2 Hot Toys SKUs, because really you had 4 SKUs, because InArt
right, because also InArt did their thing with 4 different, essentially 4 different figures, you know, with the 2 jail cell versions and the 2 purple coat versions. So yeah, that's the other benefit. Whereas with Hot Toys, this is their 4th Anakin, but this is really only the 3rd really sought after Anakin, because that Clone Wars Anakin, as beautiful as it is, it's more of a niche thing, right? I think a lot of people, that was like a consolation prize if they didn't have the other Anakins, because they're so expensive right now. But yeah, I do think right now, though, guys, if you're not getting the rooted one, it's a great time to buy that light side Anakin, because he's kind of the lowest he's been in a while, because a lot of people are dumping him to get this one. So, but best believe, though, once everybody who misses out who wants this Anakin, that price is probably going to make its way back up, because all those people who were kind of selling it off in hopes they're going to get this one, you know, people are going to want that one back. So Nathan says, even though I didn't get one, I prefer today over the lottery. Absolutely, dude. I'm totally against the lottery thing. I'm not a fan of that. And I've said it before, you know, people can make 1 million accounts. And I know a lot of people are saying like, oh, they can open a bunch of tabs and make a bunch of different accounts, but I think it's IP based. So that shouldn't affect anything. It should be based on your IP. I don't think that would affect anything personally. TK says, I think they were just staggering people into the page. I guess this is going off what you were saying, Mike, how it seemed like people were constantly getting like randomized even while they were in the queue. There was no time limit, so the queue didn't really matter in that sense. Yeah, and I also felt like the time limit was a little inaccurate based on like what people were actively saying, like, oh, I got in, but their thing said like 12 minutes or something, you know? So I feel like it was a little bit quicker.
Mine said it would be an hour wait, and it was only about 10 minutes.
Yeah,
10
so
15 minutes. So
yeah, it certainly was getting thrown off by the amount of traffic coming in. I think that's definitely a good point. Summers Fam says, I was at 700 right at 12, almost said nah, but I kept going down, and in 13 minutes I got one. There you go. Like I said, dude, don't give up. I mean, you just gotta kind of hang in there. Kaiju says, hey everyone, I think with Hot Toys pricing point, the InArt is looking more and more like a better deal as they include more, including diecast and better bases. I may have to rethink InArt versus Hot Toys. Yeah, again, the Hot Toys price in the US kind of caught me off guard. It's crazy because I purchased these overseas beforehand, and I got them cheaper. The Anakin's significantly cheaper than I think it's going to be through Sideshow, what I paid overseas. So that really was shocking to me, because, you know, those were getting heavily flipped before this drop in the US. So the pricing is definitely very high and very concerning. And I think personally, I think Hot Toys saw kind of a golden goose egg with what InArt had going on. And that's why they kind of spawned this DX Artisan line, because they're like, if people are willing to pay for a new company that's doing good things, why wouldn't they be willing to pay for ours? And certainly they were right, because, you know, they sold out of those DX Artisans very quickly. So it's not surprising to me at all, but the price is definitely much higher than I was hoping for from Hot Toys. I was hoping that they would come in a little bit cheaper. But again, a big part of the price also is Sideshow, because overseas this was significantly cheaper. So Sideshow in the US specifically is what I'm talking about. The price hike through Sideshow is ridiculous. Revenge of the Sith says the queue is randomized, which is whack. I mean, I don't totally hate the randomization because, you know, some people work, you know, and their schedules are kind of all over the place. Some people probably had to go on their break to take it. So it's like, I'm not totally against the whole randomization thing, but I get your point. You know, when you get in a virtual queue, sometimes people expect to be in a line, right, in order in which you arrive. So I totally get it. David, I wanted to hear your thoughts, because, you know, we're chatting, celebrating our victories. I want to hear your thoughts on the whole process today, and let us know what you picked up out of the two. Which one did you end up picking up?
So look, man, when the PS5, PlayStation 5 came out a few years ago, that broke me mentally. So nothing surprises me these days. I ended up getting one, but it was a weird situation. So it's kind of like lobotomized me when it comes to this stuff. I did end up going with the sculpted hair. I'm a sculpted hair guy. I've got the in art. I'm super excited about it. And for those that did land one of the rooted hair, congratulations to you guys. I want to say I saw when it released, I was caught up with work, and then I pinged back over, and I think it was, excuse me if you already mentioned this, it was like at the 17-minute mark, they were gone, right? I mean, that was it about the
I think that's about
Yeah.
right. I was like, I think I said like 15, but I think you might be right, like about 17 minutes. Yeah.
So I did see on the Big Bad Toy Store, they didn't list the rooted hair, but they did list the sculpted, and now that's sold out. So it's just, give it a few days. I think the sculpted hair on Sideshow, it'll be gone. And once it's gone, I think this is it. I think this is a one-time release on this. I don't know if we're going to see multiple phases coming through. Do you? I don't
think so. I think you're right. I mean, the fact that it lasted about 17 minutes tells me that they probably, that's it. They kind of blew their load right off the bat, and that's it, because with all the previous announcements, we've seen some waitlist conversions, but initially the initial sale, that's it. So
yeah. And excuse me if I missed it in the description, but is that going to be a magnetic base? Do we have confirmation on that? Or do you think it's going to be like the Indiana Jones deal where that, you got
I'm sorry, yes, this is like the Indiana Jones, so it does have that mini little ankle grabber. I love the idea of it, but I'm not sold yet on its application because I haven't seen it in person, but I absolutely love the idea of it. So I'm very glad to see that implemented with this one. I'm just a little wary of how it's going to work, and also I'm curious to see how it limits posing,
Yeah. And like I said previously, I do believe, this isn't for everyone, but I am a huge DC guy. I love the Dark Knight. I do think there's enough differences between this one and the in art. In my sick mind, I'm justifying it, but I just think that it's very unique and very cool at the same time. So I'm excited, man. That's where I stand.
Me too, man. And it's funny enough, I know I told you guys I was just getting the rooted, but this guy, speaking of enabling, this guy had to just tell me that Off the Racks got the sculpted in art Joker. So I bought that one too, thanks to Ryan. I'm blaming Ryan for that one. But I'm going to compare them. I'm really curious to compare them. And I told Chris, if I'm really like blown away by the Hot Toys ones, maybe I'll get rid of my in art ones. I don't know what's going to happen. I want to see them in hand, and I love the in art ones so much. I'm very curious to see how they compare. I think this is fun to me. Some people might be like, well, mine's better. I'm like, nah, this is fun. I'm going to have a really fun time comparing this stuff, seeing which aspects I like about this versus that. It's fun to me. And I think this is a total win for collectors. But thank you so much, Ryan, for the $5 super chat. I very much appreciate it. Very generous, my friend. Ryan says, and Ryan, I'm so glad you were able to make it out to see Mike in his beautiful wig that he put on for us unexpectedly. I did, guys, by the way, I did not know he was doing that. It just completely caught me. I keep focusing down on him. It's just so funny to me. But Ryan says, hey, everyone, not able to make it on stream tonight, but here to support. Thank you so much, dude. Make sure to like and sub to the hotline and these amazing panel members. Absolutely, guys. Everybody who has a channel listed in the description, definitely check them out. Mike, I don't know. Did you ever create a channel, or are you just a panel member for now? I don't know how you're doing.
Yeah, I'm just a panel member for now.
Maybe one day, guys, you'll see him in his green wig on his own channel.
I know. See, that's what it was. I just needed an in, and maybe this is it. We'll see.
Yeah,
I'll let you know.
Yeah, just every video now you have to have the green wig on. That's going to be your thing. You're the green wig guy.
To be in character.
Exactly. But for Ryan, of course, Ryan, I got to give you one of your favorites. I got to bust it out. So Ryan, this one's for you.
You got a super chat. Get a super chat.
A what?
A super chat.
Come on, I told you, I'm about tired of this super this and super that. I'm about to put my super foot in here. Oh, hey there. Almost didn't see you again. My son must have been talking about them super chats. Well, Hot Toys Hotline and I just want to say thank you very much. And whether it's rain, sleeting, or snow, we'll make sure we get your Hot Toys to you.
It's every time I watch that, dude, it's just so funny. The first thing that comes to my head is like the people who must be watching him do this must think he's totally insane. They're like, and this is the guy delivering my
just
package.
out the window. Yeah.
I know. They're just
I
out their
smile
window
every
like,
time.
Old lady comes out.
right.
Give me my package.
Yeah, right. Give me my package. Stop playing around. But yeah, thank you so much, Ryan. I very much appreciate it, dude. Ryan, hopefully you're in the chat at least when we talk about the Ghostbusters stuff, so we can see the roast that you have prepared for them. I know you're going to talk about it tomorrow on your stream as well. Let's see. Oh,
Lane.
well, look who it is. Look who decided to drop in. We got Lane, the legendary Lane Kramer is here. Lane, so great to have you here. Perfect timing to talk about the Joker drop today. Lane.
I figured that you already would have been over this by now. That or you guys had spent the first like 40 minutes talking about Anakin and just what did I learn from today so that I can, be like a baseball player, going to the batting cage and working how I could do better tomorrow.
Yeah, no, we're not going to spend too much time on Anakin because we gotta save that for tomorrow, dude. We'll save that discussion for tomorrow. But a super chat, yeah, I love that. He put it into words. I love that. But yeah, Lane, since we got you here and you just joined us, tell us about your experiences today. Because I know you and I were talking while this was happening. What are your thoughts on the Q system, and were you able to secure whatever version?
Well, I ended up getting the sculpted, but I had this version, the artisan, in my thing. And at the checkout thing, it kicked me back out to the queue thing. It said there were 2 people in front of me. And then I came back and it said it was waitlisted. And I was ahead of some people in the queue system or something like that before some people said like I was 4,000 and something and I got it. And I was like, okay. And just honestly, I'm blown away by the price. By both of them.
Yeah.
$515. I mean, maybe you can help me remember this, Connor, because I know you're getting it too. Was the Apo and the Bark, was that $510 or $515?
I think it was $515. I think this is the same price as the
I
Apo
can
and
look it up
Bark.
right now. I'll look it up.
Yeah, Sean's our numbers guy.
I mean, it's not like a big difference. It was about the same price. Now I know this is 8 months later, but we're talking about a full figure with accessories. With a vehicle is the same price as and I know it's rooted hair or whatever. I don't care. It's still one figure at the end of the day.
That's a great point. Yeah.
But the artisan thing, I knew it was going to be more expensive because it was like $400 and some in Hong Kong.
Lane, can I ask you, at what point did it like? So you got sent back to the queue?
Yeah, no. So what happened? I don't know what happened. It was weird. So I was at the checkout screen. And I hit because I wanted to see how much the total would, to setting up, going to how much it would be with tax and the whatever else it included estimated shipping. Because I didn't think I was going to get the red one, but I wanted to see what the pricing was going to be with everything. I wasn't willing to wait because I had like $30 in points I had used, but everything was all, going to be screwed up that I wasn't even afraid if I tried to add that, it might screw things up. So I hit the button where it started loading to take me to, the final screen. And everything where you choose your stuff, choose you want it to be protected, and then it to go through. And it was loading that. Then it kicked me out. It said there were 2 people in front of me in queue. Then I sat there for like a minute, and then it let me back in, but it put me back at the Joker, like choosing it screen. And then it said it was waitlisted. I was like, what? I don't know. I never had that happen. I had the queue thing and everything was really weird. And then because I had been on, had my thing open and everything, I loaded directly to the RSVP page, had it up, and just hit to recycle it. And then it told me it was like, 2,345. I don't know. And Connor, I sent it to you. Like I sent you a thing saying where it was.
Yeah, it's so funny, Lane. All the people dropping their screenshots of where they were in the queue. And again, we were kind of talking about this before you jumped in, Lane. Like it seemed like the times didn't really exactly line up because
it went from an hour to like 10 minutes.
Right. Mike was saying his said an hour as well, but he didn't wait an hour. Most people didn't wait an hour. I mean, unless you were really, really late, but even then I doubt you waited an hour because, at that point, a lot of people got theirs. They hopped out of the queue.
My thing was really just the price point for and I know, so I expected this because it was like $450 or whatever. It was something ridiculously priced in Hong Kong just for the Joker by itself anyway. But why? I don't understand. Why is it sculpted $365? Because that's the one obviously more people are going to be able to get their hands on. because I know it's a DX. You know, it's still a DX, even though it's not this artisan special DX. But I was really blown away more by that one and the pricing for it. I thought, looking at the accessories that come with it, I feel like that should be a $315 to $325 figure. So it's still expensive. So I'm not saying it's a huge difference, but it feels like it should be, to me, maybe $30 to $40 cheaper for the sculpted version. That's the one that really caught me off guard for how expensive it was.
Yeah.
I got it, but where I got it from, I had to just put a $15 deposit on it. So, you know, if I change my mind or something later, I'm not really even getting hit by the 10%. But I thought the system, for as well as something like this is ever going to work, you know, there's no way you're ever going to make with these limited things everybody happy unless, you know, they were saying how you have to line up in front of Sideshow like, you know, they do for Hong Kong. Does it, where everybody's got to get into a line for 4 hours beforehand. And I'm sure then we would just, you know, pay Sean like $200 to go out there and just get in line for everybody. And
I mean, it's not, if they with old people, you know, everybody says they always hire like Toys Wonderland hires old people.
We might kill him though
this
summer.
Throw him some extra bucks.
Summer might kill him if we did.
Or you know, we could send Kaiju out there. You know, I'm sure he would love to do that for us.
Maybe Mario, since he lives out there. Maybe we could hire Mario to go do it.
Maybe Big Dog Pound. Funny enough, he says he'll let us know if the Q system is fair or not, if he hits on the rooted hair Anakin or not. So if he doesn't hit, just consider it unfair. Thank you so much for that, Big Dog Pound.
I agree with that.
I think it's as good as I think it's good as it can be, because this is always going to be the thing where you guys have talked about the argument with, do you want it to be limited versus people having access to it? You know, kind of thing. That argument you're going to always have with these collectibles. It doesn't matter what the collectible is. There's always going to be that little back and forth on it. I think it worked reasonably well. That's as far as I'm willing to go. It worked reasonably well, and this is just the thing. Now, do I think maybe they need to cut back a little bit on all of it? Because we've had a fairly good number already of these. You got to bang your head in the wall trying to get the items, get these figures. If we see more of this kind of thing, not even artisan, but just you have to get lucky, get in the RSV and get into the system and try and get it. I think if you see that too many times throughout the year, that's going to wear people out. I know we talked about this on another thing. They can wear people out.
For me, Lane, I hate to say it, I'm really enjoying this new version of Hot Toys.
We're all
at least
man. We're all
in this regard. Yeah, right. And you're right. Everything gets old after a while. Right now, though, I think this makes the hobby fun again. Not that I wasn't having fun before, but and there's some people that are like, well, I don't care if something's limited or not. And yeah, to an extent, like I still really love my in-art Jokers, and those aren't limited. And I know a lot of people were upset with the original pre-order window. I love those figures. So it being limited doesn't detract from, how good the figure is. I like the fact that something's harder to get because, it makes a more special piece in your collection. Like, let's say like you have a friend that collects Hot Toys that's local. They come, oh man, you got the in-art rooted Joker, whatever, whatever, something that's limited. Yeah. You got the artisan Joker in your collection. Like there's a bit of pride to something like that, having something like that in your collection. So I certainly, for me, I'm enjoying it right now. I do agree, Lane. When it becomes everything is limited like this, I could see where some people are like, I'm tired of fighting for stuff.
But
I get
it
that.
also but I think also what it has, it fits kind of is just part of the trajectory of where stuff is for this particular collectible and hobby, where it is. Not everyone's limited, but there is a cutoff where stuff will waitlist, for everything now. So this is just kind of a natural extension of that. It's not like everything's being available to launch and then they're only having this 3 or 4 figures a year. Now it's just an extension of what you need to be used to. So in some ways, and I don't know if the rest of the panel guys would think that way, you already should be conditioned for it where it's not like, because that's the way it is kind of for all figures. Now you have more time for like the sculpted one, but that one even these days,
right?
A couple months from now, just might disappear, or it could just disappear on you the next day.
That's a good point, Lane. Like everything is kind of limited now. And David brings up a great point here. He says the Joker 3.0, it's a tough pill to swallow with the sculpted, but it's a slow burn with the payment plan. You do have 8 payments on this one. So as expensive as it is, at least Sideshow gave us the courtesy of, hey, we're going to let you put it on a payment plan.
And for this one, the good thing, at least with the Joker, Anakin might be a little bit more consternation. Next week when we meet and talk about it, but you have another option that is like, at least for the sculpt and what comes with it, is just as good. It may not have the rooted hair, but I think we can see, there's discussion whether is the sculpt just as good or better, how it combines with that hair.
Right, I'm
versus the
excited to
rooted.
compare them, Lane. Like I said,
I
this
know.
is exciting for me because I can't wait to see what they both look like together.
But
I know
we got
for a
excitement,
fact,
guys. That's the one thing. We're excited about
Right.
stuff, whether we love
Yeah.
a figure 100% or not, or the Gideon that popped up. I know not as many people are excited as this, but we're getting something that's different and looks cool and has got some stuff with it. So I think there's overall more excitement in
For
the hobby
sure.
right now. And this
For
helps.
sure.
Anyway.
Hot Toys has turned Carlito into a Trandoshan. He said he loves the hunt, makes it exciting again. I'm okay missing out on a few. And yeah, dude, we've talked about this, and someone said it. I forgot who it was. Said it earlier in the chat in the Facebook group. Don't be so upset if you miss out on something. It's not the end of the world. For me, it would have been the end of the world if I missed out on the Anakin, but I would have found a way to get it. I would have found a way to get it, guys. If you want something bad enough, you have to be willing to spend the money if you miss out on it. That's just how the world works. You want a Lamborghini, you're spending Lamborghini money. You want the Lamborghini of 6-scale figures, like custom figures and these artisan figures and the in-art rooted hair, you got to spend custom level money. So it's just how it works. But there's definitely,
you never know. You may not get this one, but you never know that the next special limited figure you see, you might like, or as part of a property. Like there might be a Star Wars 100 pink Darth Vader.
There's always something new, right? Always something new.
You might get that one.
Something new to chase for sure.
Yeah, the Bark Speeder was $515 with Apo.
$515.
So this, God, man, the same price. Jeez,
is $610
for the dual car. Yeah, sidecar one.
So Sean, now that we got you talking, I'm curious to hear your thoughts on this whole thing. I'm not sure. I know you want the Anakin, but I'm not sure. I think you want the Anakin. I'm not sure if you went for the Joker or not. Is this something that's going to end up in your collection? Did you go for this today?
So I went for sculpted and I got it.
Nice.
I went for, the rooted hair. I'm not a big fan, but I tried anyways. And I didn't get it. So I hit add to cart. I was going to add a cart. And then I just got the big, huge standby message. And then all of a sudden I was logged out. So I had to log back in.
Yeah.
And then it was waitlisted. And I was like, okay.
Yeah, same thing.
So I went and joined the wait list just to see what happens. But if it happens or not, I don't really care. Honestly, I'm not a rooted hair fan. And I kind of don't see what the big deal is, but that's just me. But the sculpted hair, I'm not really surprised about the price for the Joker because, I know we joke around about Hot Toys doesn't care about fans, but I really think they do. And they're paying attention in the Facebook groups about people complaining about the Joker forever.
Yeah.
Getting a 3.0, wanting it forever. And I mean, is it a weird time for Hot Toys to bring it out? Yes. But I think they did it perfectly where for the last several months, it seems like there's more and more complaints about in art with people having issues with the magnets coming apart or the 1/6 weapons are too heavy, pulling the arms out. And so right in the middle of that, they throw this out.
Yeah, and we kind of expected it. I mean, I think most, especially streamers, I think a lot of us really expected this. When you really think about it, do you think, I don't think any of us thought for a second Hot Toys is just going to sit back and be like, oh, well, they destroyed our DX11 Joker. Theirs is way better than ours. I don't think any of us thought for a second that they were just going to chill and just not do anything about it. So it like Lane and I said, it makes it exciting. And I do want to say, Ryan makes a good point here. He says, I think it was smart marketing by not disclosing the price until you got past the queue. Because, I have all those people funneling in. They're curious if they can get it. They're curious to see the price. Realistically, how many people waited over an hour and still passed? And and I was kind of saying that earlier in the Facebook chat as well. It was like, how many people are going to pop in and they don't even want the rooted hair? They want the sculpted one, but they're not sure if the sculpt is going to be limited. So, a lot of people going for that DX Artisan rooted. That's why so many people were waiting in the queue for a decent amount of time, but we're still able to get it, I think, because most people, and, Mike and Sean both said it, and I've said it myself many times, I'm not huge on rooted hair. I'm kind of getting some more interest in it and giving it another chance right now because this wool hair stuff has me interested to see, how much better is it than that crappy nylon hair? And, you know, a lot of people I trust are like, dude, it's good. Trust me, give it another chance. And I've talked to people about the Wonder Woman. I have the Wonder Woman on the way. Everybody's saying the Wonder Woman's fantastic. You're going to love it. And it's going to be interesting for me because I have the Wonder Woman Deluxe, the Justice League version. So I'm going to be able to compare that crappy nylon hair that I absolutely hate versus this new wool hair. So this is something that I'm giving a chance, but it's definitely something that hadn't interested me for the longest time. And even when the in-art Jokers went up, it was like a no-brainer for me to get sculpted. And now I'm like, you know, maybe I should have got the rooted, but, you know, I won't know until I see the stuff in hand. I kind of get my own thoughts on it. But yeah.
Oh, sorry.
Go ahead.
No, another smart thing about releasing a piece like this is it sells more ancillary Batman products. So like I'm more interested in getting Bane now. You know what I mean? Yeah, I know they weren't in the same movie, but
but as a collection,
more of that Nolan verse world. Yeah, totally.
Yeah, and they have a lot of figures on pre-order and or in stock. You've got the DX19, you've got that clear armory set that just waitlisted. You've got the Selena Kyle, you got the Catwoman on pre-order. You've got the Bane. And, you know, they've talked about doing other things from the Dark Knight trilogy. I think they mentioned that when they put out the Bane, that there was more coming from the Dark Knight trilogy. Yeah, I know Lane really wants the Ra's al Ghul. I would love to see another Scarecrow. So it's like, I agree with that, Mike. I think it made a lot of sense for them to be like, well, why would we just sit back and let people, you know, we're seeing these people wanting to get this in-art Joker to go with the figures that we're selling. Why not us complete a new upgraded line for all these figures? Because Bane has been released before. Catwoman has been released before. Joker has been released multiple times. Like David said, this is a 3.0. So it's like, it made sense for them. And it was very clear to a lot of us that they were going to do this. I didn't know they were going to quite go this hard and kind of go the in-art route, but I'm here for it, man. More options for collectors. I know we have a lot of comments piling up. I'll read a few comments and then Chris will get your final thoughts on everything before we move on. Eric was saying the RSVP should have had a cutoff date. And I know a lot of people actually missed out because they forgot to RSVP. I don't personally care. I don't feel like if someone forgets to RSVP, they should be cut out. I think that's kind of dumb. I think it should just be if you get in the queue, like when you go through Shop Disney, you don't have to RSVP for stuff. It's just they put up the link, you get in the queue, and that's it. So the RSVP crap, like I'm not personally worried about that. I feel bad for those that were there and they got a spot in line pretty early and they got in and it's like, psych, you can't get it. And if I remember correctly, people were saying they cut off the RSVP once it was 12. So you couldn't RSVP after you got in. So I definitely feel for those that missed out because of that, because that really sucks. Nathan says this Joker wasn't even as bad as a lot of these Mondo figures. Trap Jaw sold out in 5 minutes the other day. Yeah, I mean, me personally, and this is not a brag or anything. This is just truly how I felt about it. I don't think this drop was that bad. And I know I got in super early, but again, Mike said a lot of my buddies got it. Most of them got it. A lot of my friends got it. A lot of you guys got it. So it's like, I really don't think it was that bad. I think it was very fair. And I think as long as you were kind of there around 12 o'clock, you're good to go. You know, it wasn't too difficult. But again, and you know, Kaiju, I'm sorry to pass on a lot of your comments because we were kind of in another discussion, but Kaiju was mentioning like Anakin sold out the same day, whereas Joker sold out a week later in Japan. So, I mean, that should tell you, you know, how really sought after Anakin is going to be in the US, especially Star Wars territory, US and the UK. That's Star Wars territory. So best believe that it's going to be more difficult. But again, guys, don't give up before it starts. You know, give it a fair chance. Sit in that queue. If everybody here hasn't given you hope, I don't know what will, because, you know, a lot of people sat in that queue for a minute and still got in. Summers fam says mine turned out to be $42 a month with the payment plan. Added my points. I'm so happy. Well, dude, I'm so glad that you were able to get those points in. I know a lot of people, including myself, are like, ain't no way I'm trying to get those points in. I'm not missing out on this one. 8-Bit Flea is here. What's up, 8-Bit? He says, yo, I managed to catch y'all live. I'm at work. I know. Congratulations to 8-Bit. He was able to get his rooted. He was giving me a lot of shit earlier when I was the first one to get mine. So, but I was like, now we can have the nice 8-Bit now that he's got his. He can back off. I was getting roasted for a little bit. Lewis says, how much was it for the artisan? It was $515, and I believe the collector edition is $365. So the prices were pretty high, very high indeed. I'm very curious to see the resale value on these down the road because it started at such a high price point. I'm very curious to see what people are willing to pay. I expected the Anakin is probably going to sell for a decent amount more, but obviously we don't know until we cross that bridge. And Apid also says you can't go wrong with either one. Now, absolutely, I totally agree. I mean, and I can't wait to have them both in hand. Again, because of Ryan, Mr. Mom Collectibles, I'm going to have 4 Jokers at one point. So totally bring Ryan. And Ryan is saying, give me that pink Vader. Lane, stop giving Hot Toys ideas. But I can't lie. You know, the rule is if OG fans here must buy all Vaders. So of course I would get a pink Vader. Come on now.
I thought it was buy all Boba Fett's.
No, he's not exclusive to Boba Fett lane. He buys everything. Must buy all Vaders, must buy all Boba Fett's. He buys everything. And thank you, Peyton, guys. Before we move on again, we're going to get some thoughts from Chris, then we're going to move on. Peyton dropped the RSVP link for Anakin. Again, make sure you RSVP because I would hate to see you guys miss out if you did not RSVP. And just a reminder, the DX Artisan Anakin is dropping tomorrow, August 18th at 9 a.m. PT or 12 p.m. Eastern time. Again, make sure you're there a little bit before 12. With the Anakin, I'm gonna have to say, don't worry about the rewards and stuff like that. I know it's hard, but it's going to be very competitive. And I will let you guys know, if you don't put on your payment plan initially, you can do it later. Actually, I've had the option to go on my orders. If I started on a payout front, I was able to change it to a payment plan on my own without contacting Sideshow. Don't know if that's 100% going to be the case with these, but Sideshow, regardless, if you have to contact them, they will switch it to a payment plan. So you do have options. Cool. So yeah, don't think you have to go through all these hoops to try to get it. Just get it as fast as you can. Nathan says Anakin will likely be 600. I still think I'm expecting him to be about the same price as Joker. I'm thinking 515. I think he comes with less than the Joker. You know, I would expect.
I think he was cheaper though in Hong Kong.
He was cheaper in Hong Kong, so I would say Sideshow would probably match the price, if not be really close. Let's say my range is going to be 485 to 515. How about that? Because Lane makes a good point. He was a little cheaper. Be
like 400.
No, I don't.
What did the base look like?
450.
No,
it looks
the
like a temple base. It's a kind of a tall.
Platform. I'm going 485 to 515
base, but
lights. No lights then.
No lights. It looks like concrete.
Yeah. USB lightsaber on one of them.
Right.
He looks like the same amount of stuff though as like Wonder Woman.
Yeah, he doesn't come with a lot, but again, the DX Artisan line lane. That's money. That's where they're tacking on that tax, right? Because we did not expect that Joker to be 515. We're in the chat earlier. We were talking about it. I'm like, I'm expecting like 450. So, and I think it might have been Carlito said, I think it's going to be 500 or more. And I was like, I don't know if it's going to be 500 or more. I don't expect that. I did not expect that price, man. But it is what it is. It's very expensive, a little overpriced in my opinion, but. You know, they suckered us. Those of us that wanted it, we paid it. So finally, Chris, I know you're not getting these Jokers, but I know you kind of said you got some lessons from this one for the Anakin tomorrow, because I know you're really, really hoping to get that Anakin tomorrow. So what are your thoughts on the queue system? And do you have any thoughts on the pricing on these figures? Because I know it's a little crazy.
I mean, as far as pricing wise, like people complain about, but then went for Hot Toys, but I get it because it's like the whole brand thing or whatever, and I could see how that could win because at the end of the day, you do know what you get with Hot Toys. So, I mean, if it was up to me, I probably would have done the same as well. And it's distributed here, and unlike you had to go somewhere else or whatever. But
yeah, as
far as the queue went, from everything that I saw Facebook wise and hearing from all you guys, like it seemed like it went pretty well. I obviously wasn't paying attention because I didn't care to get the Joker at this time. So I think it was like 12:05 when I noticed, and I was like, let me just see what it's like. And I popped in, and I think I was like 3,000 something, I'm pretty sure. And it said an hour. However, my brother, for some reason, he called me and he just wanted to join in. He joined 19 minutes late, guys. So this is 19 minutes late. He joined in and it said it would take him 30 minutes, but he realistically got in about 15 to 20. And a minute before he was about to be let in, it said like you got like one more minute or something like that. It went waitlisted, the artisan one. But he was able to still get in, and obviously the sculpted one or whatever. And then also another thing, if you guys want to know, he also, while he was there, he wanted to see what would happen if he refreshed, like if he'd be kicked out. And he refreshed the page, and he was still able to choose which one he wanted. So, if something happened or whatever, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't. So, Chris, I don't know if they've stated it, but I know, again, just comparing it to Shop Disney, because it's very similar. Like Shop Disney, they'll say you got 10 minutes to shop. So I'm wondering if there's an
Right.
eternal time clock, an internal time clock through Sideshow's website where it gives you a certain amount of time to shop before it kicks you out back into the queue. I'm very curious about that, but it is cool that it doesn't kick you out immediately when you refresh the page.
Right. My only thing would be like that I'm nervous about is hearing Lane's experience. I haven't heard that one before so far today, so that one kind of puts me on edge, and hopefully that doesn't happen to me tomorrow. But you know, we'll see, and if I have to go somewhere else, I have to go somewhere else. But what else was I gonna say? It'll come back to me. I just know it was smooth. I'll say that. I don't think there were too many things to bicker about with it. So we'll just see what happens.
That's fair. But great thoughts, Chris. And again, best of luck tomorrow. And best of luck to everybody with the Anakin again, dropping tomorrow at 12 p.m. EST. Really quick, though, guys, as Insane One always says, resistance is futile. Leave a like and subscribe to the Hot Toys line and this Hot Toys hotline. Can't even read my own name. And this fire panel if you haven't already. My tapeworm. Thanks, you all. Yes, guys, if you haven't already, please consider dropping a like on the stream and subscribe to the channel. I very much appreciate it. And check out everybody's channels and links all in the description. I'd very much appreciate it. TK is saying there wasn't a timer. Okay, thank you for confirming that. I wasn't sure because I wasn't on the website very long. He said, I sat there for a long time watching the page. Okay, so maybe they haven't implemented that step yet. But guys, we're going to move on. And what's up, by the way, Yomo? I see you in the chat. What's up, dude? I hope you're doing well. We're going to move on, though, guys. Again, best of luck to everybody tomorrow. If you guys have any questions, feel free to reach out. As always, guys, click on the link in the description for the Hot Toys Hotline Facebook group. I highly recommend it. Staying up to date on all the information, the current things going on, especially in that chat. Definitely highly recommend it. We're going to move on to our next topic, guys.
Did you guys see that guy post in one of the groups when he did the payment plan? It was like 8 payments of $1,000.
Well, that was definitely a bug. I did not see that. That's crazy. I did not see that. I certainly would be contacting Sideshow immediately, but you know, he was probably, I mean, who knows? Maybe he just had a ton of them in his cart and it bugged out or something. I don't know, but I feel like it was probably a limit of 1. On the
it said limit of 1 per person.
Yeah, I know it wasn't on the sculpted. It was like a limit
of
8
that was the thing I remember. One more thing. I also didn't RSVP for the Joker. I did for Anakin, but it let me. Now I was in the queue. I didn't get in to choose one, but I was able to wait in the queue.
Well, yeah, I saw a post from someone. They were saying they waited an hour, and,
and then
when they got in, they weren't able to purchase because so it definitely blocks for sure. Yomo says, "I love what you've done with your hair." Yeah, and as Mike disappears, I'm sure that hair is going to go away. I wonder if he had an Anakin wig prepared or an Ahsoka Leku or something. You never know. But guys, I know a lot of people are really excited for the Ahsoka show. I'm very excited for it, guys. I believe it's August 23rd. It airs. We get 2 episodes. And of course, Mike has something ready. He's got the 330-second clone helmet. I still haven't bought that one, dude. I still need to get that helmet. But Mike's got everything, dude. He's got everything sitting ready to go. But yeah, guys, we're going to talk about the Ahsoka show. I know a lot of people are really excited about it. A lot of people have been wanting to hear my thoughts and other panel members' thoughts on what we could see coming from this. Guys, as you know, we kind of learned our lesson this year with the Return of the Jedi line. You know, not everything we want's going to happen, but we're going to turn this into what would we like to see, not what we think is going to. And Sean's got his too. That's awesome. We got 2 330-second Ahsoka clones on stream. And not everything's obviously going to happen, but we're going to talk about what we would like to see. So the question I have for the panel and also everybody in the chat is, what would you like to see from Hot Toys from the Ahsoka show? Now, just to refresh your guys' memory, I'm going to pull up some photos here, some stills that we have from the upcoming show on August 23rd. And by the way, guys, that post, for those of you that don't know, that was on Sideshow. That was a post saying, coming soon, Ahsoka line from Hot Toys. That's an official post from Sideshow. As you can see here are the 2 ones that I think a lot of people are especially with, I believe his name is Ray Stevenson, especially with his passing. I think a lot of people are really going to have a sentimental attachment to this character. These are our 2 Sith from the upcoming Ahsoka show. We've seen them a lot in the trailers. These would definitely be really cool. Are these ones at the top of my list? No, I hate to say it. They're not at the top of my list. Of course, I'm always willing to take baddies, but because this is a show that's so intertwined with the Rebels, guys, I gotta really,
Did you just say baddies?
yeah. I mean, you say what? You say, did I just say baddies?
Whatever you like, man. Whatever you like.
Is that your first time hearing baddies? That's like a universal term, dude. I didn't make that.
No,
up.
it's not the first time. I'm just surprised you're using it.
Well, there you go. Lane says they are Dark Jedi, not Sith. I don't know, dude. I was reading into them to see exactly what they were considered. I know they're not Inquisitors, but a lot of sources were saying they're Sith. But I haven't seen the show, so I don't know, and I haven't read any official statements otherwise, so I don't know.
Well, no, Sith. The difference is Dark Jedi and Sith is an actual philosophy and training and skills.
Right.
That's what's different. Dark Jedi are still dark side wielders. That's kind of more would fit what the Inquisitor were. They were Dark Jedi, dark side wielder, but they weren't taught completely the ways of the Sith, like a Sith Lord like Vader or Palpatine. Or
His lightsaber looks more oranges too.
Yeah, that's one of the reasons that they're also wielding that possibly too.
Well, yeah, no, the orange lightsaber is actually, from what I read,
Pretty
it's
dope.
based on that original photo of Darth Vader where he has a different hilt that's not his hilt, because the hilt actually looks like it and everything. And the actual blade, I actually have a puzzle of it in the corner over here. I'm not going to grab it right now, but
Dark Jedi is a Timothy Zahn thing, like from Heir to the Empire, before they really were using the word Sith, because it hadn't been used yet in a film.
Yeah.
So it's an old reference, which is cool.
I just ready for Sabine. Let's go.
Yeah, they're doing a lot of unique
Hell
stuff.
Yeah.
We see Sabine with a lightsaber. Of course, guys, the Ahsoka, it seems like her outfit is very similar to what we saw in Mando. So it's like, do we really need a figure of that? No, is Hot Toys probably going to pump one out? I'm sure. Hera Syndulla, though, got to have a Hera. Everybody from Phoenix Squad, guys, I'm really pulling for. I'm not going to put any faith in getting the entire squad because, Hot Toys often doesn't. We still don't have our Drax yet, but I would love to see the whole Phoenix Squad. That would be an absolute dream. Obviously, Kanan is not going to be in this show for obvious reasons, unless there's any sort of flashbacks from Hera or somebody or Ezra. But if somehow he makes it in some sort of flashback scene or something, that would be pretty crazy. But I know I would love to see. And again, Ahsoka here, it's a very similar outfit, so I'm not really too worried about that. But
it'd just be a different head sculpt, probably with
most likely, slightly longer Leku.
LED lightsaber, USB lightsabers too, maybe.
Hopefully, and Mike, do you see Hot Toys doing a USB spinning Inquisitor saber here? Do you see
that? Because they should have done that with the Grand and with Reva. So.
Yeah, I know.
That's
everybody,
true, because they were with Kenobi.
Because I wanted that.
Everybody was really hoping for that. I wasn't surprised that they didn't do that, but how?
I think it does rotate though.
It possibly it probably has a little track on it. I haven't seen any footage of that or anything, but I'm sure.
Yeah, I think it does. It just doesn't obviously do it automatically.
The funny thing is, the most deadly being in this entire show is Chopper.
Dude, Chopper ain't no joke. Chopper's no joke, dude. I would love to see Chopper again.
Figure though.
Right. I mean, I could see them doing it. Hot Toys loves their droids. They've been pretty fair with the droid releases. Got to have Sabine here with the lightsaber. I mean, it's such a different level for this character because we're kind of used to seeing those Mandalorian roots with her character in Rebels. So this is really cool. I'm very interested to see. I hope this is not another Finn fake out that we got where we thought Finn was going to be a Jedi and it didn't turn out.
Hey, maybe she got blown up in Luke's Academy.
Yeah, I mean, this is an obvious one, guys. I mean, I know somebody here, Mike, based on his Instagram name. I'm sure you're super stoked for this one, and this one's got to happen, right? I mean, if we're putting money on anything, they know, right? We have that really old Sideshow one that is pretty outdated. He's got the little pet on his shoulder. I feel like this is kind of long overdue at this point. I could see a lot of people wanting this one. So yeah, I mean, I feel like this one has to happen, right, guys? I feel like this is, and it's easy, right? This is it's super easy for them to do. So
I wish with this, they had just done one thing different. Don't have the pupils, man. Just have had them so they're just red.
Oh, like the chest. No, I like it. I think he looks good.
Well, no, but the old chest just had the red. There was no pupils. You didn't see it. It was just red.
I didn't notice that. Are they not? Is it not all red? Is it just his pupils?
No, you can see his black kind of the black people.
Right, he's got you see
Oh,
the
oh,
blacks
I'm
in his
sorry.
eyes. Yeah,
I mean,
okay,
the people
okay.
should. Their eyes are just red. There's no
Yes.
pupils you see. They're just red. I
Yes.
wish they had done that because that's how the just mostly.
I agree.
and we've seen though, Lane, like with these live action adaptations, they do change stuff up. Like Ahsoka's Leku was shorter.
Yeah.
Cad Bane had that smaller hat.
He
so-
had them in Rebels though, so they had changed that design for him. So
Right,
this is
but-
accurate to Rebels.
Okay, so you're okay. I see what you're saying. Okay, I
Yeah.
gotcha. But yeah, I mean, again, this one I think is a no-brainer. I really hope they put it out because I think a lot of people will be super happy. And speaking of, Big Dog Pound is saying Sabine with short or long hair. I would love the option to get either or. I'm going to move us really quick so we can see this photo because there's Sabine with her long hair there. I would love the option to get either or personally. If they have two head sculpts or like swap out hair or something, I think that would be ideal. Again, I'll always love more options. OG fan, what's up, OG? OG says, hey, everyone. Hello, everyone. I hope you're doing well, OG. We're just talking about the Ahsoka show right now. And then this chick here, I always forget her name. Is this the Magistrate? Is that her name? No, this is not the Magistrate. What is her name? What is this girl? The one that fought Ahsoka, the guys.
The
For those who don't know.
masturbate.
I don't think that's it, Chris. The one that fought Ahsoka when she had the Beskar spear. Somebody has to know in the chat. Somebody has to know.
Morgan Elsbeth.
Nobody cares about her.
Morgan Elsbeth. I mean, yeah, I think most people probably don't care about her, but I don't think anybody's like, oh, there she is again. Definitely a cool looking outfit though. I like the red. That's cool. Definitely a cool looking outfit. I think she looks cooler than she did.
You like the lady in red?
The lady in red, yes. I think that's really all we have for the most part for the photos. There's another shot of Sabine with the long hair. I'd love to see that helmet with the Loth cat on it. That's really cool. And you guys know Sabine is an artist, and she has all of her unique art and stuff that she does in Rebels. So you kind of see that coming through on her helmet here. That's really dope.
Yeah, I could see them doing the Ahsoka in the pilot suit, that blue pilot suit that she wears.
Yeah, that would be really
that'd be
cool.
Did you guys know the trailer parts is from the last episode of Rebels? Mirrors it exactly, just in live action. Yeah, I thought that was pretty dope.
Yeah,
That was
and
awesome.
Tremble Dust says that's her official name, Pwned Maiden. She did get pwned. It's crazy. This little painting that we see in the back here is obviously from Star Wars Rebels. And I saw the other day that a guy was doing the stones as a backdrop for a 3.75 and 6-inch scale. And I was like, could you possibly do it for 1/6 scale? So he said he's going to test it and let me know. How cool would that be if we get a decent amount of Rebels figures and have that in the background, dude? I'll definitely let you guys know if it works out, if the guy's willing to take additional orders on it. Just something I kind of brought up when I saw it. I'm like, that's super cool. And it's a very high res image. It looks really good. Another shot of
Dude,
Sabine.
can I just say, have you ever seen a character translated better than her from animation to live? She was born for this role.
Yeah, she looks
perfect.
great. She looks great. It's crazy. Yeah. It's kind of like Rosario Dawson. I feel like they did a great job casting her. She has that facial structure that definitely fits the character very well. But yeah,
she carries that tone too.
Yeah, I think they really did a great job overall with the castings. And I think Ezra is really good too. I think Ezra looks really good. That's another one I would love to get Ezra. Ezra is actually my favorite character from Rebels. So I would love to see an Ezra. And especially, guys, if you have a Return of the Jedi Palpatine, or if you have an extra in your collection, how cool would it be to have them kind of conversing, like that one scene when he goes to meet with Palpatine? Again, Hera, no-brainer, dude. Absolute no-brainer. She's going to look incredible as a figure if they end up doing it. I'm just really excited to check it out. And then maybe eventually we'll get a Mon Mothma too. I know everybody's been hoping and praying for that one forever. I don't know if that's going to be the case since they've kind of passed up on her so many times. There's another shot of Ray Stevenson there, looking pretty menacing. I'm definitely excited to check these out, though.
Yeah, I was talking. I think somebody commented on my channel about it. It would really. I mean, it's going to suck regardless, because rest in peace to him. But if he's super, super good and this is his last word, and we don't get to see more of it. Yeah, for sure. Moose Stream, by the way, great to see you in the chat, dude. I know you're having issues being able to chat last week. It's so great to have you here, man. OG says Ezra. Yes, Ezra. I would love to see Ezra. Safel says Bo-Katan was another perfect. Absolutely, which is crazy, because Katie Sackhoff is the voice actress for Bo-Katan. So
Really couldn't work out any better. And I do think, and Ryan and I talked about this a lot, I think they definitely improved her look. Say what you want about Mando season 3, but I think they definitely improved Bo-Katan's look a lot. I think her hair looks less like a wig and more like real hair. I think she looked really good.
As soon as she was on the throne, we knew.
Yeah, I'm like, she looks really good. She looks real good. Big Dog Pan says not Ezra Miller. Yes, we don't want Ezra Miller in Star Wars. We don't want that. But that's really all we got to say about this, guys. We're just kind of going through the different options because I know a lot of people are like, well, what would you like to see? This is what I would like to see. Of course, guys, take everything with a grain of salt. This is just once. Did anybody else have any additional comments? David, I think you wanted to say something.
Yeah, I do. I think we're at some crossroads here. I mean, we're all going to be Star Wars fans regardless, but I think that there's an opportunity for this Ahsoka to stick the landing, if you will. And if they can stick the landing, my God, it can kind of wipe our memories clean a little bit from what we've experienced. Now, am I a fan of the Book of Boba Fett? I mean, whatever. And Mandalorian to me kind of fizzed out. But if they nail it here, I truly believe we'll see a motion picture with Ahsoka. I want to see that.
And I've been screaming like in Filoni we trust. Like this is specifically him. I think this is his baby.
Yeah, Ahsoka is his character.
Yeah, man. I don't think
this is his real life
around with that. Yeah.
I would like to say, like, outside of the original trilogy, right? When you really think about it, Ahsoka and the Clone Wars and just the way that she resonated. I mean, I'm a grown-ass man, and there was times where I had like tears in my eyes when she was conversing with, Anakin and whatnot. I mean, she kind of really, she was the main character when you look at it, in my opinion. It was,
I've said that too. Like, besides the Chosen One and focusing on Anakin, like, she's had one of the best, if not the best, like, character arc.
And 100%. She went through so much, right? And I agree, David. Like the scenes where the Jedi Council essentially betrayed her, they just threw her under the bus. They didn't give her a chance to explain herself. They hunted her down, So she's had such an arc. She went from a Jedi in training to they betrayed me. I'm on my own now. I'm no longer a Jedi. And now we see her kind of being lifted back up in this show. She's kind of finding herself again and putting herself out there again. Hopefully maybe she calls herself a Jedi again and kind of takes that role. You never know, I mean, if she's training Sabine, which it looks like she is, you never know. Maybe we'll see her call herself a Jedi again, but
that'd be great. I want to say I have never been, since I started collecting Hot Toys, this excited for potential releases from a show. Yeah. This is the most excited I've been. I mean, I didn't grow up with the Clone Wars. I was a little old for it, and I was like mid to late 20s, and I thought I didn't really get it. Yeah. I am so happy that I went back and I said, all right, let me sit down and really commit to this because I cannot imagine Star Wars now without the Clone Wars.
Right there, it fills in
completely
so much.
Integrated. Yeah. I've said before, like now I look at the films as a window into Star Wars, and Clone Wars is like living in Star Wars. Like that's how I feel about it.
Yeah, I totally agree, and it's all it takes, right? It's just giving it a chance, guys. If you haven't seen the Clone Wars or Rebels, Clone Wars, the first 2 seasons are a little slow, but once you get through it, it really is. It ties in so much. It fills in so many gaps. It explains so much.
Shows too,
and Rebels as well. I should have said.
There's a
Rebels
piece of it everywhere now.
Yeah,
and that war
Tales of the Jedi.
Clone Wars.
Tales of the Jedi is incredible.
Yeah.
Can't wait for the second season.
I can't wait for the second season.
It's so good.
Yeah, and
I think I had chills the entire time.
Right, and they were short little episodes. It was an easy watch. Loved seeing
and told
Count Dooku
so
with
much
Qui-Gon.
though, in so little time.
Agreed. I totally agree. And I love Visions too. It's not for everybody, but I loved Visions. Visions was beautiful, and I actually enjoyed the second season even more. I really liked it. I know it's not for everybody. It's not everybody's cup of tea. But
I think Ahsoka really just needs to be solid. It doesn't need to be great. It just needs to be solid to good. I think that's what we really want right now. Everything.
Lane, it has so much going for it, and it's picking up at a very important story. Because obviously in Rebels, you're left on such a cliffhanger. Because I don't want to totally spoil it, but you guys will probably catch up a little bit before the show comes out if you can. But there's a heavy cliffhanger at the very end of Star Wars Rebels, it leaves you thinking like, what's
We
next?
weren't sure
And
if
this
ever
is
would get addressed again,
hearing
or if it was going to be in a book or something else down the road. So
yeah, and this is
Yeah,
our
this is a
reward.
real- Exactly. It's a real gift to Star
Yeah.
Wars fans that stuck in there. Yep.
Exactly. We've waited all this time.
I expect it to be at least good. It may not be the greatest thing since sliced bread, but my expectation it'll be good.
See,
Yeah.
Well, Filoni's a great storyteller. So even if he doesn't have all like the live action filmmaking chops that maybe somebody else would who's been doing it a lot longer, I believe he'll be able to tell a great story with these characters because these are his heart. I mean, he created these with George, you know, at least Ahsoka, I should say. And that carried into what Rebels became. So
Yeah, I totally agree.
Another thing you got to look at too is Andor set the precedence of what it has to do.
yeah,
A lot of people were kind of 50-50 on Andor.
I love Andor.
I love it.
Andor
I loved it.
like surprised everybody with how
Yeah,
well.
but I think Lucasfilm got the wrong message from Andor though, because it did not do very well as far as watches and reviews, which is such a shame because it's such a great show. But I hope they didn't take the wrong message from that.
Right, and it's always about money. A lot of times, it's very money motivated because they're
It
such
was
a
very
big company.
expensive. Andor was too.
It was
made over
very
250
expensive. It was a very
million.
long show, a lot of episodes, but it was so good. It was beautifully filmed.
Andor was
The
awesome.
actors were great. The casting was great. And we got totally shafted by Hot Toys on the figures. I'm hoping out of nowhere they're like, surprise, we were a little busy, but here you go.
Well, season 2. I think we said we hope season 2 will probably at least get an Andor.
Well, I
Yeah,
think with the strikes and
I
everything,
just can't believe it's next week.
Yeah.
Ahsoka, man.
yeah, and two episode airing. I love when they
Yeah.
do that. It gives you a little bit more to be excited for.
I think with the strikes and everything, they're gonna have time to go back and hit up their
Oh,
light.
Hot Toys for
They-
sure.
They missed out on doing and everything else. You know, I mean, that's going to be the good point.
And you know, you could see with the delays and stuff for new content coming out, like into next year, that could still mean possibility. Maybe one of the other Inquisitors might come out as part of Obi-Wan, or they might be willing to take a little bit more chance in the Ahsoka line, you know, maybe than they might have originally considered, you know, to do an extra figure or two because they're like, well, we don't have anything else coming, but we need to have some in these slots and everything. So here's some other prototypes that, you know, we were on the fence on for doing, but we need to have some product out. So these can fit those slots kind of thing too.
Yeah, there's so many ways they can go to. You can look at Marvel. Okay, let's do 2.0 of the original 6 Avengers.
Mm-hmm.
You know, let's go through and, you know, hey, you know what? Let's go pump up Scarecrow 2.0. Let's go do this or that. Let's visit more Batman Returns. You know,
I hope
Mark
so.
7
Man. I'm all for it.
3.0 incoming.
I'm all for it. And we just got another Mark 7 lane. Come on now. They're giving us plenty of Mark 7s. We got
No,
Mark
but I mean
7s
original
galore.
Mark 7
Yeah,
with the
that's
right
true.
colors.
That's true.
I'm with Sean on that one for Avengers, and Connor knows I've been saying that too.
Well, yeah, you guys know. I mean, I sent it to some of y'all. I just got the Bruce Banner and Hulk 2-pack, and I absolutely love it. I was telling David, I know I showed it to David. I'm like, dude, this is it's so much nicer in person because when you see it in photos, it's like the Hulk, the green looks a little bit goofy, and then you see the banner and the colors on the paint apps on his face don't look quite right. In person, dude, it's impressive. It really is, and I'm so glad that I traded for it. But really quick, I'm going to read a couple more comments, and we're going to move on to the Lost Boys David, guys, because this one is very, very exciting. I'm so excited to talk about this one. I hope Ty is still here, because I know Ty actually has a tattoo of the Chinese takeout container on his forearm, so I know he's really into the Lost Boys. Really excited to talk about it. OG Fan says, Andor suffered from the Book of Boba Fett backlash. Very true. Just like Solo suffered from The Last Jedi. Hey, guys, I'm going to die on the cliff that I actually liked Solo. It wasn't incredible, wasn't mind-blowing, but if you take it for what it is, I think it was a fun movie. I thought it was a fun movie. I liked Alden Ehrenreich as Han Solo. I think he did a great job as a young Han. And I know it's not for everybody, but I liked Solo. And yes, Safel, we do need Andor figures. Absolutely. I can't wait to eventually get them whenever that happens. But guys, we're moving on. We're going to talk about the Lost Boys David. Now, I'm going to say this first, guys. Y'all need to put some respect on Sideshow's name. Not every 6-scale figure they make is bad. Actually, they make some pretty good products now, guys. And you got to remember also, guys, Sideshow gave us some great Star Wars stuff over the years. Lately, though, their Star Wars line has kind of suffered. The best looking figure, the Cad Bane, nothing's happened with it. It's very unfortunate. We're still waiting on that Cad Bane. And obviously the General Grievous, there's not much to be said about that one. And obviously the Clone Wars figures. But I'm going to tell you guys right now, I've got basically all of the recent Sideshow horror figures, the Freddy, the Jason, the Ghostface. I've got the Clint Eastwood figures, most of them on pre-order. I've got the what else do I have from them? I've got the Crow, the Eric Draven. And trust me when I say their figures are pretty nice. They're not quite up to Hot Toys standards, but they're pretty nice. Now, the big topic of conversation with this one right now is the price of $285. I'm not too sure why everybody was so like caught off guard by that price, because all of the Clint Eastwood figures are that price. Not really sure where the complaints about the $285 is. And also, I don't think, I'm going to say it, I don't think $285 is a bad price for it. It comes with 2 head sculpts. It's got the base where you can hang upside down. I think he looks really good, guys. And not only that, David, I'm sure you could speak on this. This is a figure that's kind of been long sought after, and we've only really seen it in a really expensive custom form or like really cheap, crappy third-party examples. And I know like Red Man Toys did it, and it's like kind of one of their best figures, but even still, I didn't think it was like 100% worth it to me. But David, dude, I'm over the moon about this one. And like you said earlier, it's David, and your name's David. You have to get this one, dude.
Well, how can a billion people be wrong, Michael? You know that.
Right.
I like the lighting right there. I mean, and then you've got the trench coat factor. Anything with the trench coat is pretty badass.
That is true. That is true.
It looks rad. It's on pre-order. I gotta have it. It brings back so many memories from my childhood, and it just. The head sculpt is, I mean, if we get that, and I hope we do, I'm impressed. I like the little, the champagne or the old school wine that he's got in his hand right there of antiquity. I like it. I think they nailed it here. So thrilled.
Yeah, I'm actually like, and in Sideshow, I'm sure you guys have noticed, they always have a bit of like a caricature with their head sculpts. It's never 100% the actor, and that's kind of their style. It's certainly done on purpose. Even if you watch the videos with Clint Eastwood actually talking with Sideshow, they're discussing their design process. They're like, we wanted to go for about 80% caricature, or 80% realism, about 20% caricature. And you can see that in their head sculpts. But with that being said, I agree, David. I think these sculpts are great. I actually like both of them. And, the open mouth sculpt, which is what, a lot of people are like, I don't like that. Open mouth sculpts often aren't really widely accepted as good. I think it looks good, man. And I really did not expect this like cave upside down and hanging display base. For a Sideshow, this is something very outside of the box, apart from their normal like hexagonal display bases they do with their 6-scale figures. This is really cool, man. I think the tailoring looks awesome. I could tell you a recent figure I got from them, the Eric Draven Crow, fantastic figure. I love that figure. I look at it almost all the time. Love that figure to death. And I always say I'm so glad that Sideshow is willing to take a risk and do something a little bit different, because again, this is a figure in an official capacity we've been waiting for a long time. I hope they continue to do the pop culture 80s, 90s horror stuff, things like that. Like, I really hope they continue to do that. And something I'm still pulling for with Sideshow, if you're ever listening, like, I would love to see another Beetlejuice. Please go ahead and take another stab at that Beetlejuice. I know your first one. I know your first one wasn't like super impressive, but hey, if you put out the same one again, I'd buy it. I just really want a Beetlejuice in my collection. So yeah, and Big Dog Pound makes a great point. How cool would he look with like Morbius or Blade? Like, they can all you can make your own little universe in your collection. But
you can use those Blue Bale Batman bats.
Dude, I said it from day one, dude. That's one of the cool, when the Morbius was first announced, I'm like, that's one of the coolest bases I've ever seen, and this would be so cool with Batman. And Hot Toys is like, don't you worry, we're gonna reuse this one too. So I'm so glad that they did, though. It looks so great, and that base is just totally fit for Batman. It's just like, that's the first thing I saw. I'm curious, like, who else on the panel's picking this one up? You guys already know. I already grabbed this. I grabbed mine from Off the Racks, because pre-orders with Off the Racks, they just disappear within less than a day. Because it's a comic shop, they get less. So I already grabbed it through Off the Racks, because this is one that I do want day one. I would like to get this day one and be kind of part of that excitement as soon as I can. But I'm curious to hear people in the chat, people in the panel, who's picking this one up other than David and I, because this one was a no-brainer for me.
Yeah, I'm getting this one, and I agree with everything David said and you've been saying. And actually, looking at this thing, I've got Maji cases coming in, and it's like one of those figures. I'm like, should I switch to spotlights?
dude.
Because just having this guy washed out, it's like it doesn't do it justice, man. I want to spotlight.
Right, like
this
look at
figure instead of
this. Look at this
Right.
versus that. Like for one
Dramatic
time,
lighting.
Sideshow does a good job with their photography. Like
it.
these photos make it look really good, man.
I have.
And
Oh, sorry, dude.
I was gonna say I'm gonna send it to you after this because I installed this lighting and it's super easy. They're called, I'm sure you've heard of sconces before, but there's specific ones that I bought for my basement display on top where I have my DeLorean, and it shines down just like this. So I'm like,
wow.
I may have to put him on top of that display now just because it'll look so cool up there.
Yeah, I have. I'm sure everybody on the panel. I love this movie. Grew up with this movie, but I also have kind of a unique connection to it in the sense that I got to meet Joel Schumacher a couple times and have conversations with him. Super nice guy. And one of the coolest nights of my life, I met Kiefer Sutherland, and he
man.
and myself, him, and Trey Cool from Green Day.
Wow.
It's a long story, but we all ended up just hanging out at a bar together, drinking, just the three of us at a table for about 5 hours. And I don't think I couldn't imagine a celebrity being any more down to earth and friendly as him. And like when we left the bar that night, like he gave me a big hug and wished me luck. And
That's
it's just
awesome.
such a great guy. So to have one of his coolest roles in a figure form would be great, or will be great, because I'm definitely picking it up.
Yeah, I've heard a lot of great things about him as a person, so it's not surprising at all here. But that's a really cool experience, dude.
Yeah, it was
yeah.
great.
It seems like you're also destined to pick this one up. Kaiju though
I
says,
have no choice.
give us more than one character here. Need 4+ to I can't read. Need to go 4+ on this IP. I mean, me personally, from what we've seen from Sideshow, they don't always go in on these lines, so I don't know if they're going to do any more. Me personally, I'm happy with just this one. If that's all we get, I'm not going to pass up on it. But I totally get it, especially if you're into building like a whole scene from a movie, you kind of need more than one to make that work. But this is definitely one that I'm definitely really excited to get. Apifly, this is from the movie The Lost Boys. You definitely need to check it out. It's definitely one of those films that you can come back to, and every time you watch it, there's something new that you like about it. It's like it's like RoboCop, Terminator 2, all the Star Wars films. It's one of those type of films for me. I can come back to it, and it's like, oh yeah, I missed that, or oh, like I enjoy rewatching this movie. Every time I see it, I enjoy it. You know what I mean? So it's definitely something you got to check out.
What if they gave us the shirtless dude with the saxophone?
So with the saxophone, dude, can you imagine?
Oh,
That'd be like so out of left field. It's kind of like us wanting, dude. It's like us wanting Bob from Batman, from the Keaton Batman. Like,
yeah.
It's like one of those obscure characters that I would totally take. But
they did Bob in Lego. Lego does Bob.
I saw that, dude. I saw that they did Bob, and then recently we saw the Hot Toys prototype of Bob go up for auction. I was hoping that they would eventually pull that out from the vault, but I guess not. But this is what you get for $285, though, guys. I know a lot of you are probably curious. You also, of course, get the head sculpt, and then you get this the extra head sculpt, and then you get this. This base is incredible, dude. This is just so cool. I did not expect this one at all. I don't know if I'm going to display mine like that because I kind of want to have that head sculpt front and center. But how cool is this, man? I mean, it's very surprising to see Sideshow like innovating like this, because they don't often do that with their bases. They're always very plain. But I think it looks great, and I love that we got the different versions of the takeout containers with the different bugs in them and everything. That's really cool, man. This is just really cool and very clever. And I'm so glad to see that the hand comes with the chopsticks pre-installed, because imagine how much of a pain in the ass that would be to keep those in the hand. So I'm so glad that they did that. That's smart on their part. But overall, guys, I think it looks great. Again, I know there's a lot of hate for Sideshow's figures, but trust me when I say, if there's something you see that's from an IP you like, you might want to give it a chance, because they do good work. It seems like the Star Wars stuff, unfortunately, is what really takes a hit in quality, because a lot of the stuff I got from them recently that wasn't Star Wars has been great. I really am loving this Clint Eastwood line. I'm kind of all in on this Clint Eastwood line, so definitely really cool. But now, guys,
I would like
Chris.
to see the two Corys. Like if they go full out on this.
I was just gonna say, I'm not getting this. I'm kind of with 8-Bit Flea. I've never seen this film, but I do love the actor. Like I love who he is, and what I grew up on, what I know him from is, and nobody's mentioned, is the Three Musketeers from '93. And I also mentioned that to you earlier.
Right.
Connor, that I'd love to see those figures done as well. But I love them in that role as well. So
Yeah.
He's great
I mean,
in everything. Yeah.
yeah.
Violet says she might get David after she's paid off a couple things. I mean, he'll probably sit for a while. It's a sideshow figure. You'll have some time. But I will say, Kaju, never seen this film? Bro, you got to remember, Chris just saw the Back to the Future trilogy like 6-7 months ago. So he's getting caught up on some stuff. So now that he has it in his mind, he'll give it a chance. I'm sure he will. And yes, the Eastwood line is awesome, guys. I can't recommend enough. If you're a Clint Eastwood fan, you definitely have to check out some of their figures because they're doing great work on those. Nathan says, "Yep, Sideshow, Clint Eastwood, and the Crow are solid." Yeah, absolutely. They've done a great job on those figures. Again, it seems like the Star Wars stuff that's really suffered, unfortunately. My favorite IP is what suffered the most. Did anyone else have any more comments on David before we move on? All right, I guess we're moving on. All right, guys. Now, here's where the salt comes in. Again, I was hoping to have Ryan here for this because I know he had a lot to say about it. I'm purposely, for now, leaving this up, guys, because I want to show you kind of where everybody's heads are at on this, because this is from Star Ace, guys. Yeah, so this is from Star Ace.
Out, man.
Yeah, and it's really unfortunate, guys, because we've had a lot of discussions about, the 1/6 license for Ghostbusters being up in the air. Of course, they haven't said anything about this being 1/6 scale yet, but typically Star Ace does produce 1/6 scale figures. So under the assumption of that, we're going to say that this is probably the 1/6 scale license because it was up for grabs because Blitzway no longer has it. This is definitely really unfortunate. I mean, this is as unfortunate as Star Ace having the Harry Potter license for all those years. And it's like,
Do we have to talk about this?
We do have to talk about it, Chris, because it's
hey,
such
you
a
know what?
huge
This is
IP.
one positive.
At least they're doing what looks like the
right. So they've got the
characters.
Zool here. They've got the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man. They've got the Slimer. Like, at the very least, to be fair, a lot of companies that are not good at human faces, they do a little bit better of a job with creatures, right? So
aliens, yeah.
let's say that this is all they do, which probably won't be the case, but let's say that this is all they do. Maybe they could pull it off.
Their Voldemort face wasn't too terrible, so I could see it.
But the thing is like, it's hard for me to think this is going to be 6 scale because, like, how massive would that Marshmallow Man be? It would be huge. So it's like, maybe like they'll go crazy and do like the smaller scale stuff.
PCS is doing a statue of the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man, so I wouldn't put it past them doing a figure of it.
Yeah, I mean, Kaiju's not totally off. Maybe they'll do a 1/12 scale Marshmallow Man. I don't know. I mean, I don't know, guys. It's just, to me, it's unfortunate. But I did want to show you guys the comments because you could see kind of where everybody's at with this company. So it's not just us on the stream hating. Sorry, that comment doesn't matter. This guy says, "Please no." 12 likes. My thoughts exactly. Scrolling down, let's see. Oh God, please no. Like, it just who cares? You guys make garbage. Like, just. Total disdain for this. We got Zach from Collecting Weekly throwing in his comments on it. So it's like a lot of people have a lot of disdain for this company, and there's a reason for that because they're getting all these beloved exclusive IPs and they're not doing them justice. Harry Potter, Rocky, which we're going to talk about. We have some hope for Rocky, thankfully.
And it's not just they're doing them. You're seeing how much they're charging for them.
Right,
and they're talking about Joker looked expensive.
What was the character from The Boys? The female.
Was it Thena, Starlight, or
Starlight?
Maeve?
Yes, Maeve. Oh, yeah, I think it was Maeve. What, like $345 for the deluxe?
You're probably going to show them Clubber Lang. We're going to show Clubber Lang. Is almost, if I remember correctly, is in the same ballpark as the sculpted Joker,
which is insane because it's like. Number one, we're going to look at the Clubber Lang. The paint doesn't even match the body, which is like that automatically goodbye. I'm not interested. But it's like...
Connor, I'll say one thing for the Ghostbusters line here. There's going to be one set of people that are happy. The one set of people is going to be anybody who owns the Blitzways figures because the value of their figures is now going up. For every moment people say
every turn corner they turn where someone else doesn't get and like 8-Bit Flea said I wanted Hot Toys to get the Ghostbusters license. I mean, obviously in a perfect world that's what we were hoping.
3-0 getting the license would have been better.
I mean, and 3-0, they don't hit a home run on everything, but they do great work depending on which line we're talking about. But it's just this. Go ahead, Mike.
Go ahead, Connor.
No, I was just gonna say, and we'll segue. I was gonna say, like, this is worst case scenario in my opinion in terms of an officially licensed acquisition. For me, this is worst case scenario. But go ahead, Mike.
No, maybe the best thing to come out of this is if you have the Blitzway Ghostbusters, at least you have some other characters, creatures, and stuff you could purchase here and throw into your collection to match those. You know, like the dog and the, I don't know, maybe Slimer if you don't have Slimer, stuff like that. But yeah,
right. And like
I'm not
present
excited
toys
for it myself. Yeah.
It's hard to be excited, dude, because it's like on the one hand, you're like, oh, yay, more Ghostbusters stuff. We don't know what scale it's going to be. It's Star Race, so most likely it's not going to be up to par. So it's like it's hard to be excited about this. And overall, again, the license has gone to the wrong person, or the wrong company, I should say. That's just my opinion. I was really hoping somebody, 3-0 in art, somebody would pick it up. I was hoping somebody reputable would pick it up. And unfortunately, of course, once again, Star Race has shafted us. You know, they did that with Harry Potter. They held onto that Harry Potter license for years. And in my opinion, 98% of those figures look like garbage for the price. I know a lot of people are like, oh, the Voldemort looks fine. This, that. I don't agree. You know, the Voldemort might be one of the better ones, but overall, they're painted poorly. They look cheap, and it's just not worth it for the price. If their figures were $150 cheaper, then sure, you could justify it. But they're asking now prices that Hot Toys and Sideshow and all these other companies are asking. And not to mention 3-0, guys, their Rambo that just came out is $200. So they're putting out decent quality stuff, but they're also realizing that they need to stay within a certain price point. Star Race is just like, oh, I don't give a crap. I'm just going to charge what we think we can charge for it. So it's like, I don't know, man.
So Connor, are we to assume then that, like, say Blitzway doesn't have this 6 scale license anymore or something?
That was the word. Yes. The word was that they no longer have the license. And I don't know if that's just for 6 scale or if it's just across the board. They don't have the license anymore. But that was the word. So I remember we talked about it months ago. We were saying like, oh, who's going to pick up the license? I wonder if somebody's going to pick up the license. And it seems like that was true, that Star Race was able to get it. So that's the only thing I can assume. And maybe the license, you know, could be for certain things. You know, maybe it's just for figures. Right. Maybe Blitzway can still do vehicles. Who knows? But again, with this one, I'm just not going to hold any hope for this line being good because we've just seen a really bad track record from them. So I'm sure for the most part, no one's excited for this. I definitely wanted to cover it. Wish Ryan was here because, you know, Ryan is such a diehard Ghostbusters fan or Ghostbusters Plus collector. That's where you're like, I could maybe make an exception because I'm such a big fan, but I know Ryan was leaning towards like, hell no, this is horrible. I didn't want to see this happen. But you know, sometimes it happens with extreme fandom. You kind of take what you can get. And you know, I kind of had to separate myself with Harry Potter because I'm such a big fan of the Harry Potter stuff. And I just couldn't do it with Star Race. I couldn't. That's why when InArt talked about doing Harry Potter, I lost my mind because I was like, finally, you know, somebody's going to do it justice. Somebody's going to put out a good product because I've been waiting for so long for somebody to take it. And now it's like, how long is Star Race going to gatekeep this license? You know, are they going to hold on to this as long as they head on to the Harry Potter? I don't know. But that's all I have to say about it. I don't know if you guys have any additional thoughts on Star Race getting this IP because I know it's definitely a big topic of discussion right now. But that's all I personally have to say about it. I'm not excited for it. I'm definitely willing to take a look at what they're putting out, but I'm not excited at all.
Yeah. I don't have any more thoughts on this, but I do have to go, guys. Sorry to leave early, but thank you all, Connor. Thank all of you guys for having me tonight. Love you guys. And it's nice to be able to chat with you all tonight. So,
absolutely, bro. Thanks so much for being here, Mike.
It was
Thanks
great
for hanging out with
having
us. We'd love to have you back anytime. I appreciate you sharing your thoughts on everything. And I hope you have a great night, dude. And if I don't talk to you, which I'm sure I will, but if I don't talk to you, I hope you have a great weekend, my friend.
Thanks, man. You too. Same to all you guys. See you guys
take
around.
care, bro.
Bye.
Have a good one, man. All right. Did anyone else have any additional thoughts on Star Race before we move on to our next topic?
Star Race is the toys blunderland of actual makers.
Right.
Perfect.
No, I think we're traumatized enough.
Well,
no, we haven't looked at
David, yet. Do you have any thoughts? It looked like you were trying to say something.
No, I was just, you know, I have zero tangible with Star Race, and it doesn't look like I'm going to in the near future. So my prediction is pain. You know what I'm saying? For Clubber Lang, too.
Right, pain. Speaking of Clubber Lang, dude, you sure you don't want to get the Clubber Lang here with the mismatched face paint?
Yeah, that's a little bit of a disaster.
Apollo Creed?
It's a disaster. I mean, hey, look, the body looks nice, but his face is off, and he
Get it
wasn't
off the stage.
He looks like Grandpa Clubber Lang.
I know, dude. It's like, I mean, is it like the worst sculpt they've ever done? No, but it's like, it's off.
I mean,
dude. And, like,
I guess it could be worse. It could be the Bruce Lee, but that's a statue, I think.
Yeah, the Bruce Lee is really bad. The Bruce Lee is really bad. But again, guys, that's our point that we're making with the Ghostbusters stuff. They're just so out of touch with what's going on. And like, why in your right mind would you put this out for a figure? Lane, I didn't see the price. I know you said it was pretty high.
I'm looking it up right now.
Okay, Lane will let us know the price. I mean, is it just me? I think it looks even worse in the robe because the way it frames his face. It's just not good, guys. By the way, Tom just popped in. What's up, Tom? Tom says, late to the stream, were you guys able to pick up the Joker? Yes, I was able to get the DX Artisan Joker. Most people on the panel were able to get the sculpted version that they wanted to get. So go ahead, Lane. Were you able to find the price?
Yeah. So this is on Big Bad, so I don't know what it is necessarily on. Maybe it's $259 for the regular and $299. So we were a little off there, but $300 for that figure. If you're going to get if your go to life is $300 for this.
Oh man,
thing.
I mean, I can't.
That's more than, to put it in context. Let's talk about not like leaving out the Joker stuff because that's just a little bit more expensive. That's a DX. So if we call a regular figure from Hot Toys, we'll say the Moff Gideon. That's a quote regular release. That was $280. Yeah. So that deluxe is $20 more than the Moff Gideon. Like,
It's crazy, man.
What?
It's crazy. And like, sure, if you display them like this, it does hide their crimes a little bit. But who wants to buy a Clubber Lang and not have him in his boxing trunks with the boxing gloves? You know what I mean? It's like you shouldn't have to justify it that way.
The Starlight you were talking about, we were mentioned from the boys earlier. On Big Bad, it's $379. So it's nearly as much. It's more.
Wild.
Oh, wait. That's funny. Think about it.
It's more than the Joker, more than the sculpted Joker.
Yeah, the sculpted. Or it's more than the regular version. So like just the figure version of the Mark 6 2.0 Iron Man figure that is a die-cast figure. Now, yes, it is a 2.0, but it is a die-cast Iron Man figure. It's more by...
Perhaps I treated you too harshly. That's what we're saying to Hot Toys right now.
Like, what? I mean, what?
All right, and 8-Bit Flea, have you never seen Rocky? You don't know who Mr. T is, dude? Look, 8-Bit, I'm not from Lane's generation, but I still have seen all these films. I grew up on these films, man. Like,
thanks, Whippersnapper.
8-Bit, how old are you?
He's got to be around my age, right? Or maybe he's younger than me. I thought he was a bit older than me. I could be wrong, but
is he old enough to be here? Because I'm starting to question that.
No, he's old enough to be here.
Okay.
Kaiju Daddy says 2 heads, 2 wardrobes, just grab an extra body. I mean, to each their own. I get it, Kaiju, especially if there's not a lot of options for Clubber Lang right now, but it's just not for me. I don't want to support this company unless they start doing better. That's just my personal. I pity the fool. Yeah.
Has Sylvester Stallone? I mean, honestly, I know you guys don't like things, but if you were going to try and get something of this character, I would tell you save your money up and get the 3rd scale statue up, because that
just don't get the Hot Toys one. The original Hot Toys one looks like melted ice cream. That one sucks. It's such an old figure, dude.
Yeah.
Oh, he says I know the movie. I'm talking about the shitty sculpt. My bad.
Oh,
See,
okay.
I connected it earlier when you said you didn't know who the other character was. 8-Bit is an 80s kid. Okay, I thought so. But guys, I'm gonna save us the embarrassment because I guess Sylvester Stallone himself was getting sick and tired of seeing this garbage. So believe it or not, guys, we are getting official Rocky stuff from the Sylvester Stallone shop. Finally, they're putting out all this cool Rambo stuff. And then we saw the Lone Shark Rocky come out, which is a really cool set. I'm still considering that.
Or the Calibretti from what is it? The
Cobra figure. Yeah. Which I regret not pre-ordering that one. That one did sell out pretty quickly. And these figures do sell out pretty quick. So you got to stay on top of it. So we do have a 1/6 scale statue with a ring diorama and everything, him fighting Apollo Creed, which is really cool. Not going to be for me because I don't do statue stuff, but this is dope. This is really dope. It says with some surprises as well. So I wonder if it comes with some swap out parts, maybe. But here's where the money is, guys. That's the money right there. This is the Rocky you want with the USA trunks. This is the Rocky we want. This is super exciting. This is what, if you're a Rocky fan, I feel like this is one of the ones you've been waiting for forever. for me, it'd be this version of Rocky, and then Rocky in the sweats hiking up those stairs in Philadelphia. Like this is huge for me. This is huge for me. Not only that, yes, like Peyton said, they're also doing Drago as well. So we're getting some great options from
wait, from
Sly
Star
Stallone
Ace is doing Drago? Or
No,
Sylvester
Stallone
Drago?
shop is doing Drago. Yes.
Okay,
So
I was about to say, because don't
right,
do
you're
that
like, should I be
before-
excited? Yeah.
No, I mean, like, don't do that to a professor. Just don't do it, Star Ace,
Right.
since the actor is actually a professor of like biochemistry or something like that.
Yep. Yeah, that'd be unfortunate. And then we're getting another version of Rocky here, the Ultimate Rocky 1/6 scale with the beanie and the beard look. Like, we've been waiting for this forever. There was like people talking about there being issues with the licensing and everything. Clearly, if there was, that's been worked out. Or, maybe they were just worrying about the Rambo stuff first and then moving on to the Rocky franchise. Either way, they're definitely going all out. I'm definitely really excited for this. This will be one that I day one pre-order for sure, especially the USA Trunks Rocky. That's a no-brainer for me. Absolute no-brainer. 8-Bit says, I'm with you, Connor. Those are my two favorite looks on Rocky. Yeah, I mean, no-brainer for me. I was considering the Lone Shark one, but now I'm like, maybe I should save my money and just grab the USA version because that's really the best option. Andreas says he wants the Demolition Man. Yeah, I think a lot of people will be cool with the Demolition Man, dude. There's just so many films that I think are just kind of untouched gold right now, but I'm very curious to see who's going to end up picking these up because people have been asking for Rocky forever, but we know how it is. People ask for it, and then when it actually comes out, everybody goes quiet. They don't want to spend that money. But yeah, for me, I'm definitely really excited for this. I don't know about you all. Who's going to pick up the Rocky stuff, man? Who's going to invest in this Rocky line? David, I know you're excited, man. Are you getting the Lone Shark one, or have you bought anything from Sly Stallone shop yet? I haven't.
No, I have not, and I'm a little bit bummed out. I missed on the Cobra. I don't know what I was thinking.
Me either, man.
It's gone. But
yeah.
I would definitely be very interested in picking these up for obvious reasons. Growing up in the early '80s and whatnot,
such iconic films, man.
Yeah, it's amazing, and I will say the Cobra, the sculpt on the Cobra looks much better with the glasses on. You know what I'm saying? They kind of need, maybe a little off, but hopefully it appears that they use pretty good bodies. This looks seamless, so we'll see. But I think that it'll be a short window like Cobra as well. So.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You got to pay attention to these because the stuff sells out pretty quick. And they do give you warnings, which is great. If you follow their Facebook page, they do give you warnings like, hey, you might want to consider pre-ordering. This is going to be sold out soon. They sent it for Cobra, and I'm like, I'm going to wait a little bit longer. I shouldn't have waited. I wanted to get that Cobra, but that's okay. Kaiju says, Connor, I'll take them for Christmas. Arigato, dude. Dude, I still haven't gotten my gifts from your shopping around Japan. I'm still waiting on those. So maybe if I see those, if those see a light of day, maybe I'll get you some stuff for Christmas. 8-Bit Flea asks, who's making this? This is actually officially from Sylvester Stallone. This is from the Sylvester Stallone shop website. So that's where all of his pre-orders go up directly. So that's where you can find them. Wait for Present Toys to release Cobra. Yeah, I'm sure they will. I don't know has there been any teases they're going to do Cobra. I haven't seen it personally. OG fan says, I had the Muhammad Ali action figure in the 70s. He dated my sister's Malibu Barbie. I'm excited for more boxing figures also because that iconic Muhammad Ali figure. I mean, they're going to go great together. Yeah, they're going to go great together. So this is really cool, man. There's really not much else to say about it. It's Rocky, dude. It's a really beloved franchise, and I'm definitely really excited to get it.
If you want to see what is the opposite of a Star Ace doing a boxing figure, that Muhammad Ali from Iconic is like the opposite for looking good in comparison.
You said you don't like the Muhammad Ali from Iconic?
No, I said it is the opposite of the Star Ace for how it looking and everything. I mean, I stopped myself because we haven't seen the final thing yet, but it looks like it should be.
So far, everything from Iconic that I have in hand, I've got the Patrick Bateman and the Ryu. They've been fantastic. So I have, and not only that, the Muhammad Ali is fully licensed for all of the Everlast gear and everything, which is super cool. Just kind of like in art, they got the licensing for the Glock on the Glock handgun, which is super cool. So I'm definitely really excited to check out that Muhammad Ali. But our final topic here, guys, and
he's cheaper.
Yeah, cheaper as well.
The regular version is like $199 or something like that.
Yeah,
You know,
very
without the
inexpensive.
belt, the thing,
Right,
yeah,
without the
so,
bust. Yeah.
I mean,
We were
it's
talking about
amazing.
obscure stuff earlier, guys, and you know, say what you want about Mondo and Mondo. I know some of their stuff looks a little cheap sometimes because they do those cartoon adaptation figures, comic adaptation figures, but they've been putting out some really cool stuff, guys. And here we've got Doom Guy. There is multiple versions of this figure. There are multiple versions of this figure. This is the red version they just debuted at this recent con that they were at, the Doom Slayer exclusive Crimson edition. I think this looks good. Originally, when I saw the prototype photos, I was a little worried about how the skin looked. It looked a little cheap. But after seeing this prototype, I kind of want it, dude. Not this particular one. I kind of want the exclusive one. Dark Horse Direct, I think, is who's doing the exclusive that comes with the BFG and everything. But this is cool, man. I mean, who doesn't like Doom? Doom is a classic game, and I think it's evolved into such a fun modern franchise as well.
Did you see the pictures? There were supposed to be some renders of the Spider-Man.
Oh, I have those on here.
Figures.
Don't you worry, Lane.
Sorry.
I have those on here. We're gonna pull them up.
Yeah.
Someone brought this up earlier, the Trap Jaw that sold out in 5 minutes. There's your Trap Jaw. Definitely, I've never really big into the He-Man universe, but definitely a really good looking figure. I know they're going really hard on the Master of the Universe line. Master of the Universe line.
Pretty well for him.
Yeah, and it's definitely selling pretty well. And this is cool.
That's
this is
what
like
I want. I want that.
Yeah, this is cool, man. I know some people complain about the flocking. How do you feel about the flocking, David?
So I'm going to tell you, I don't know if you guys have any Mando, but I do have the Merman. I have the San Diego Comic-Con Skeletor. I have the Deluxe Skeletor and the He-Man, but I've got to land this. It's a little pricey, I will say.
But is he going to be the same price as Battle Cat?
It's $500, dude.
Yeah, same price as Battle Cat.
Dude, but it's like, that's kind of what I'm. I better not say that too loud, but it's like that's one of the that see that right there.
That's why you need it. Yeah,
that's the vision, you know. And I've got that deluxe. I've got to have that. It's incredible. I think they do a pretty good job. I mean, their arms are kind of, you know, they've got that cartoony thing where their arms don't lay flat, but from what I understand on some of the designers from Mondo, they tweaked this Skeletor to be a little bit more. I don't know what the word is. They tweaked him to where his arms kind of lay a little bit flatter. I did what's that guy's name? Trapjaw? Yeah. Is it Trapjaw?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes, you're correct.
Not that one though. I don't like the look of that cartoon Trapjaw. I got the other one that's more like gonna fit in because that Merman's beautiful. I'll tell you that. I don't know if you guys have ever seen it in hand, but I'm not the biggest Mondo fan, but that's what sold me right there. That right there, that picture right there.
Yeah, it's definitely badass.
I've really bought like the Tweeterhead statues. I love the 5th scale line that they do, the Legends version. They're doing a 6th scale like He-Man on Battle Cat statue. It's like 23 inches tall or something ridiculous, but these look so good.
I'm not gonna lie. And I do agree with Kaiju. I think the Mondo stuff is a little bit overpriced for what it is. I do agree with that. I definitely share that sentiment. This is cool as crap. Not only that, you have the goblin head with the installable hand. I mean, this one does interest me. I'm not gonna lie. This is really cool. And this is like what the classic suit could have been if it wasn't from the video game line. This is
my Spider-Man right there.
Yeah, this is dope. I'm probably going to end up getting this one. I'm not going to lie. This is
and they're doing the black suit too, the symbiote suit. But you know what the thing everybody wants from this? After seeing that, like people like that, you know what people want. They want the animated series Venom. Like that is like that. If they do that 6 scale, I'm like Hot Toys. You better get yours out quick.
I'd be jumping on that real fast.
Animated series Venom, because that's going to be with the insignia. Even if it's not the best figure 100%, if they put out Venom out like that, like Hot Toys better lickety split with that, you know, eventual game one or something.
Yeah, and then here's also we have a 97 Cyclops, which is really cool looking. 3 different head sculpts. I love the different options, and these are actually really cool too. These laser eye effects. I think they're doing really cool stuff, man. Rogue is interesting, right? Because everybody bought that So-So Toys one, and everybody's really in love with that So-So Toys one. So I'm very curious to see how many people end up picking this one up because they really love that So-So Toys one so much.
I'm too deep into the live action Spider-Man stuff. I couldn't do
McCready
animated.
Yeah, that's true. Now, this is what I'm talking about, though, guys. Now, we saw the original RJ McCready prototype, and it looked a little rough. They have since gone back and updated the paint apps and updated the sculpt a little bit, and I think it looks much better. I still think the hair looks a little bit chunky, and obviously the fitment on the jacket is a little loose, little goofy looking, but this one's coming home for sure. There ain't no way I'm passing on this. There was a recent custom run done by a really great custom figure maker, and it was very expensive. And it was definitely out of my price range. So this is much more my speed. And I think they did a much better job on this head sculpt here. Again, hair looks a little bit chunky, but that sculpt is pretty dang solid compared to what it was before. I'm definitely really excited to check this one out. I'm also curious if they're going to start using real leather on their stuff. I'm not too familiar with the Marvel stuff, the Mondo stuff that they've done previously. So I don't know. But I would love to see everybody across the board stop using pleather because it's just rough.
I got a fun little story about this, and I'm going to age myself, but I was like 6 years old, and my mom took me to see this in the theater, and I remember a lady adult, bitching at her, saying, "How can you have this 6-year-old in the theater?" But that was like, I think 81 or 82, but that was such a great movie, dude.
Yeah, it's such a and it's another one of those films you got to see. The Thing, They Live, there's a long list, and also we saw they're working on They Live figure as well, but we haven't seen any more from it, so I don't know if they're also tweaking that one because the sculpt was a little rough on that one as well. But yeah, this looks great. I'm definitely gonna end up picking it up. It's definitely a huge improvement of what we saw before. So. That's really all I got to say about the Mondo stuff. I just wanted to show you guys really quickly because I know I didn't see any compilations of all the different photos from all the different stuff from the Mondo showcase. I'm curious if any of you guys on the panel, if any of this stuff interests you. I know David and I have kind of been talking about all this stuff, but Sean or Lane or Chris, does any of this stuff interest you at all?
Stuff. Is that Stinkor? Or is that Merman?
It's Merman's, and excuse the lighting, but I'm going to tell you guys, I mean, some of their stuff is incredible, and this Merman really sticks out in their He-Man line. It's
their timed exclusive stuff is very cool. Like that Harley, where it's not necessarily 100% the best figure, but you got her if you're really into it for the time stuff to get both the hyenas and all that stuff with. They give you a lot of stuff. I mean, it's Hot Toys money at that point, but you get a lot of stuff with it. But those Spider-Mans, now those may be something this time next year. We see something like that pop up.
Yeah, because those are pipeline items. It's going to take a while for them to put those out, probably.
I don't want anything from the Harley Quinn animated show. I like the first 2 seasons, but I've hated the last 2. I can't get over what they did.
Hey, don't crush his dreams, Lane.
I'm sorry. I'm just opinionated when it comes to that show because I love the first 2 seasons of it. And what they did to Bruce Wayne in season 3, I despised. I couldn't stand the storytelling.
Does anyone else have any additional thoughts on the Mondo stuff before we close out the stream, or any additional thoughts on anything before we start closing out the stream?
I got my R5.
You got your R5?
Yeah.
Oh, and already.
What are your thoughts on the R5, Sean? You want to give us a quick little look of the R5? I don't have mine yet. I'm still paying mine off, and also I didn't get an invoice from Big Bad Toy Store. Oh, look at that! He showed us, and then he pulled it away.
He's like,
very nice.
I like the weathering on the dome.
Yeah, the weathering looks. Is it a die-cast dome, Sean? I haven't watched any reviews.
No, it's not.
It's not. Okay, I didn't think so.
Really hard to turn. Compared to the R2,
which is super smooth.
Yeah.
Was there any concern when you were attaching, the antennae or anything like that? Any fragility you were Cody?
Does he light up or anything?
No, there's no lights up, but there's a hole where the antenna goes in right here.
Okay.
And then, it's just in. That's it.
Nice.
The weathering on this, though, and you could see from the restraining bolt, right there, the weathering from around the dirt.
That's awesome.
But I'm pretty sure get that clean version. But what I'm really impressed with from this pack,
I heard the same thing. The Pitroid was. I heard it was way sturdier than expected, Sean.
Yeah, it stands on its own. But I mean, just look at that.
Yeah, it looks.
I love sturdier than the Geonosis Battle Drone.
Might have to pick it up.
I absolutely love. That's why I got 2 of these packs because I love the pit droids so much. I'm like, I have to have at least 2 pit droids in my collection.
What I also like is right here.
Look at that, man. Look at that.
How it completely moves around.
Nice pickup.
Yeah,
I think the price point ended up working out really well for that setup and everything.
And then, of course,
BD's awesome. Every time I see that BD, I'm like, where's my Cal Kestis?
Yeah.
I want the freaking Cal Kestis, but see, you have little articulated toes. That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's really cool. I'm so glad that they kind of really put out for a set that kind of, I feel like a lot of people probably passed on. But, for me, I'm like, I got to have it. It's a droid set, man. I love my droids, love my background characters. David and I kind of talked about that last week. I love background characters. I love stormtroopers, clones, what have you. So this was right up my alley. Really cool, though, Sean. Really cool stuff.
And then if you can see right there, the wiring, too.
Yeah, that's nice. Cool. Like tiny attention to detail. It's really cool, man.
And then right here.
I'll pull you back up.
Yep. So on the pit droid also, you can see the wiring for the arms.
Oh, yeah, I could see that. Yeah, I haven't watched any reviews on this set yet.
So
is there a die-cast in that dude and the pit droid?
What was that?
Die-cast in the pit droid?
No, I don't. There's no die-cast. The pit droid has some weight to it, more than what you think it would be. But even like right here, these are articulated. You can go outward, inward with the legs. So it gives more articulation than what I thought we were going to have with it.
Yeah, and I've heard he goes into the little closed up position pretty well also. So it's definitely very surprising. Like you said, I think a lot of us expected it to be pretty fragile. So I'm glad that they kind of engineered it properly to where it'll kind of stand the test of time a little bit better. But
and then the antennas also are actually fixed in, so you don't put them in. They're okay, and that's what I thought we would have to do.
I kind of prefer it that way, where they're fixed.
But they're fixed.
That's cool. I did like the battle droids, how you can kind of install them and they go up and down and everything. But definitely cool, man. I'm excited to get mine. I'm definitely excited to check it out. But guys, that's going to do it for us. Thank you so much, everybody who hung out tonight. Amazing turnout tonight. Thanks for sticking with us for over 2 hours. I very much appreciate you guys. And of course, as always, thank you so much to our great moderators. Thank you so much to all the wonderful people in the chat. And thank you so much to the amazing panel, everybody that hung out with us tonight, sharing some awesome stuff to talk about tonight. Thank you so much, David, for coming back on. We very much appreciate you. Mike as well, who Mike had to dip out, but thank you so much, Mike, for being here. It's great to have you on. Chris, the Collecting Madness, thank you so much for coming through. Lane, the Midnight Collector, the legendary Lane Kramer, and last but certainly not least, Sean, the Hot Toys Nightmare. As always, guys, there are links in everybody's channel in the description below. Chris, I know, is working on a collection tour, guys. He's been really working hard on it. He's probably going to refilm some parts. He's trying to really make it as short as possible because you guys know with collection tours, it's like you have a lot of information to get into one video. So, Chris, I know you're really excited to put out that collection tour, and I can't wait to take a look at it. Even though I've seen your collection in person, a lot of people have not seen the entirety of your collection because you have a lot of different stuff.
Yep.
Yeah, so you've been missing out. BART speeders are starting to go after people, so they should be on the way. I know Connor and I are getting ready.
Yeah, I've got both my BART speeders on the way and Neo. I got Invoice destroyed. So, and Chris actually just also got the Lizard base.
It's not as heavy as I thought it would be, but I haven't gotten it out the box yet. But yeah, I got that coming on the channel as well after the collection tour. So it won't be in the tour. Will at the end, like saying what's upcoming.
Yeah, for sure. So definitely check that out, guys. Subscribe to Chris Event already. He has a goal of 1,000, and he's very close to that goal. So please definitely check him out if you haven't already. Nathan says, great show. The hotline was definitely dialed in today. Well, thank you so much, Nathan. I appreciate you hanging out. You were here the whole show. A lot of you guys were. I very much appreciate you guys. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. Definitely had a fun time tonight. Guys, as Lane said, I've got the BART speeders and Neo coming. I will be reviewing all 3 of those. Just a reminder, I do have a giveaway active on the channel right now. Head on over to that video. All you got to do is be subscribed, like the video, and comment on the video. Highly recommend heading on over. Not that many people have entered, so you have plenty of chances, or I should say you have a good chance to win because not that many people have entered. And it's for a quarter scale Raphael Ninja Turtle from NECA. So definitely worth entering, in my opinion. Everybody is eligible to enter. If you are overseas, you do have to pay shipping. However, if you're in the US, we're going to cover that for you. So definitely head on over there. And yes, Chris is 1 away from 900. So if somebody wants to give them to 900, we'd very much appreciate it.
It's 901. I saw that earlier. So that's false info. Don't believe me.
Chris, yeah, we don't listen to Chris. He's giving us false information here at the end of the stream. But that's all we got for you guys. Thank you so much. Once again, keep an eye out on the channel. I got some reviews coming for you. I did also do a review on the Trick or Treat Sam. I knew that one wouldn't be too popular, but if you guys want to check out a really cool figure from a very niche kind of cult classic movie, definitely head on over and check out that review because I think it's a really cool.
It's a great anthology movie.
Yeah, it is. It's a fun movie. It's a totally fun movie. Kaju says overseas pay shipping. That's racist. Well, hey, dude, I'm just saying overseas shippings get real expensive. So we got to cut it off somewhere. But yeah, let's just say if you guys are overseas and you win, I'm more than willing to ship it to you. Just you got to pay shipping on it. But that's all.
Hey, it's not racist. It's more prejudice.
Great way to end the stream.
Well, thanks there.
No comment. All right, guys. We are heading out now. Thank you so much, everybody, for being here. I hope you all have an absolutely wonderful weekend if I don't talk to you. Of course, guys, we'll see you next week on Thursday at 7 p.m. EST. And again, keep an eye out on the channel because there's a lot of great stuff coming. Got a huge pile of stuff over here to my right that I still need to go through. Shorts galore or whatever.
Actually,
that's all we got for you guys. Chris won't be here because Chris is going to be on vacation. He'll be flying, but
he just got married. He doesn't need vacation.
That's true. But some people will be here. Don't you worry, guys. Some people will be here. But that's all we got for you guys. Thank you so much for being here, each and every one of you, and we'll see you next time.